Good afternoon and welcome to Andre McCoy Field on the campus of New Bedford High School, where this afternoon the New Bedford Cable Network and Fred TV are proud to present boys high school football action. It's the homestanding New Bedford High Whalers taking on the Durfee Hilltoppers. Joe Cabral joined by Chris Santos and Evan Massoud. Happy it's spring 2021, the traditional Thanksgiving Day matchup happening here under clear blue skies, temperature right around 60 degrees, but it's still New Bedford and Durfee football, Chris, and for New Bedford, it's been a rough 2021.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, it has an 0-3 record with losses of Dartmouth, Bridgewater, Raynham, and Brockton. And obviously, you take the records out the window. We've always said that on Thanksgiving morning. This is just another rivalry game between these two schools. Unfortunately, they're not playing it on Thanksgiving. They're playing it here today in April, but it is a beautiful day for football. Evan, this reminds me of the first week in Labor Day weekend when colleges start, and we watch a 12 o'clock game and we see a lot of sun and atmosphere just like we see in the college.
Well, I was talking to Ed, before the game, and said the last time we were here for Thanksgiving when Durfee was traveling, that was 2018, and teams were postponing to Wednesday night because of how cold it was going to be in the morning. There were snow squalls. This is just unbelievable. This is not normal for early April. Usually it's raining and cloudy. Yeah,
we've had some difficult seasons, even when I was coaching. Remember having some snow in early April, so it has happened. But this year has been absolutely wonderful. We were here last night, Joe, a nice night between Fairhaven and Volk, and it is just a beautiful day here this afternoon. But let's get talking about football, and for New Bedford High, it's been a tough season. Where it's been tough, it's not been tough between the 20s. That's when they've done a pretty good job. It's when they get to the 20s, it's been penalties and turnovers and stalls, and they cannot put the ball in the end zone. That's number one. Number two, the run defense has not been where it's supposed to be. They've been able to be run upon an awful lot, and I expect another one this afternoon from Jason Hall of the Durfee Hilltoppers, who Evan will talk about right after the national anthem.
Yeah, so the crowd rising here for our national anthem. Again, you're watching high school football on Facebook Live and the New Bedford Cable Network. Our national anthem from Andre McCoy Field, New Bedford and Durfee ready to go at it. And Evan Massoud from Fred TV is joining us here this afternoon. Evan, for Durfee in 2021, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but they've had some outstanding performances from their running back, Jason Hall, as they come into this one at 2-2.
Yeah, you said it, Joe, and I'm going to go out on a limb right now. He is the top running back on the South Coast. This kid has really turned into a heck of a player. The junior year cut short for everybody, but lucky they get to play. Hall's best performance was 2 weeks ago at home against the Dartmouth Indians. All 4 touchdowns to his credit and 250-plus yards. on the ground, and that was in 3 quarters because Coach Brown pulled him for the 4th. So, you know, had he been out there in the 4th, probably would have hit 300, which is just, you know, unheard of. And I just got from the coaches in the stands here outside the booth that Hall is 238 yards shy of 1,000. If he gets 238 today, he'll get 1,000 yards on the season in a 5-game season. That's really pretty remarkable.
Joe, I was able to talk to the Dartmouth High coaching staff, and they compared this young man to a longtime Dartmouth legend in Jordan Todman. That's how good they think this kid is. That's high standards when you're coming into this area for football, and you talk about what's been the best in this area in Jordan Todman, who again made it to the NFL. Yeah. So if this kid is supposed to be like that, I am really looking forward to seeing what he can do here this afternoon. That's high comparison.
Yeah, and Jordan Todman, of course, in the NFL for several years, primarily a kick returner, but did see action in the backfield and had a successful NFL career. So we'll have our eyes this afternoon on Jason Hall.
Hey, listen, I'm looking at 2 guards right here in Sage Paradise and Elias Robital. One is 6'6", 295. The other is 6 foot, 350. With guards like that, Joe, even Evan over here can run through them holes. Because let me tell you, that is 2 big guys, number 68 and number 70. And they look like they can clean house on the interior line. So I can see why Hall maybe has done what he's done with guys like that in size, because you don't see that often in high school football that big.
And Chris, your analysis prior to the start of today's game included the commentary that New Bedford has struggled against the running game. So a big challenge here this afternoon for the Whalers, as Durfee's strength is the running game, and Evan alluded to their outstanding running back, Jason Hall. So the 2 teams getting ready for the opening kickoff. Again, a beautiful sunny day here. We've had unbelievable weather here in the spring of 2021 for high school football. And today, no exception.
Evan,
Durfee.
we're going to see them on offense first. What's it been like for quarterback Isaiah Thomas? We've seen a little bit of him in the past. How's this season going?
Not a lot of, you know, attempts, again, especially when you have, you know, the prolific running game and Jason Hall as your number 1. You know, we've seen a couple interceptions, some incompleted. It's been a little bit inconsistent, I'll be honest, but you can afford to be inconsistent when you have a 200-plus yard running back.
But if
you're
key on Hall, is he able to come up with something in the run-pass option and maybe keep it once in a while and help himself out?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And again, you know, having that tremendous line also helps. You know, I mentioned to Joe that the defense as well has been a strength for this team over the last couple seasons. You know, the 2 losses.
Onside kick, and I think they're going to get it. It went 10 yards. And they are going to get
New
this.
Bedford has the onside kick. You can't advance it, though. It's where you recover it, Chris.
It's going to be real interesting.
It had to go 10 yards.
And I think it went exactly 10 yards, personally.
He's marking it just beyond the 50.
He first put it just short of it, and now he moved it up to right where the 50 is. But let me tell you, you couldn't put it 10 yards any better than what Ian DaCosta just did.
It's close. I didn't think he got close. There.
So it's, again, where you touch it first. It was beyond the 50. And then you can't advance the football. Right. So as long as it's touched beyond the 50, once you recover it for New Bedford, it's your possession there.
Quite impressive. And it looked like he caught it like in stride at the 50, and it just went right there. So the officials are really talking about this one. We got a controversy call right on the first play, and there's a flag.
It's a flag. It's going to be a penalty against New Bedford. And I think let's see what the call is, but remember how they do it in the NFL. You kick the ball into the ground. Once you do that, there is no ability for a fair catch, and it's anyone's ball. However, if you just chip it in the air, as they did there, you can call a fair catch if you're Durfee. And you do have the initial right to the football in the air. So let's see what the call is here, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you, you cannot get any closer than that, Evan, as right off the bat, I mean, I can understand where New Bedford and Mark DeBrittle could be complaining, because it's one of those bang-bang plays, and the official had first put it down, but they're going to back him up and saying, no, let's watch it from another angle. If we see it again, you can see Mark DeBrittle.
Well, they are saying the ball went beyond the 50, but again, remember, you have to kick it into the ground. In the NFL, when they do that type of kick, the ball is kicked into the ground. That negates the right of the receiving team to call a fair catch.
And I don't know that it actually went into the ground. I think that's
it did not.
That's the problem here.
He chipped it up into the air just as a traditional kick. So a guess here totally that this is what the officials are calling here. Since the ball was marked, the penalty was marked beyond the 50. That means the ball did travel 10 yards.
Yep.
And take a look at Jason Hall in the backfield, 6'2", 215, wearing number 1. Remember that number here this afternoon. But also up front, look at how big the guards with Paradise and Robital. As we start this one, 1st and 10 at the 35.
Isaiah Thomas is the quarterback, number 4, in the shotgun with the offset eye to the right. The fullback is Montero. They're going to give it to Hall, straight up the gut, not this time, to the line of scrimmage, and maybe a loss of a yard as he was tackled at the 36.
Good stop from New Bedford on 1st down. They went to the right side on Paradise's side, and New Bedford was ready for the challenge on the straight off tackle right run, and they were there for it. So a loss of 2 on the play.
And we were here for the Bridgewater-Raynham matchup, and the toss sweep, student body right or left, was where the problems really occurred for New Bedford. They're going to send Montero in motion, give it again to Hall, straight up the gut, huge hole, has enough for a 1st down. He's all the way down to the 15, the 10, the 5. He's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, one side they stop, so they say, okay, let's go to the left side. And remember, you start on the right with the fullback. He now comes across the quarterback to the left. They just finish on that side, and it's 2 plays and in the end zone for Durfee, which has been a thorn in New Bedford's side all year with plays like this.
37-yard touchdown run for Jason Hall to give Durfee the early, very early, 6-0 lead. Extra point attempt being attempted here by number 15, Sebastian Inacio.
Well, just more of the same from Jason Hall. It's what we saw in 2 games at home at Durfee in Fall River. Inacio, 7 for 7 on point afters at home in the 7 touchdowns. He's had a great season. Durfee hasn't had a consistent kicker for point afters like this in years. So nice to have that weapon in the back of your pocket, you know.
Inacio with plenty of leg. Extra point is good. It's 7-0 Durfee.
And what has to impress you the most there, guys, is not only can he go through the hole, which we know anybody can when he gets through, it's take the first hit, shuffle off that hit, spin and stay on your feet, and then make it to the end zone. That's where the talent comes in compared to maybe a Todman who was more of a speed back and could just blow by people. That was pretty impressive there to see. You know, the hole was there for him. We know he could get through that and with a burst of speed. But it's what he did to finish it, taking on that first hit and then ending in the end zone.
Can't tackle him.
Yeah, anybody can run against there, but it's breaking tackles. And you saw there, initially there was a big hole, but down at the 2nd level and maybe even the 3rd level, had to make some plays on his own, broke some tackles, and takes it from 37 yards out into the end zone. And Durfee, with 10:06 left in the 1st quarter, has a 7-0 lead.
Well, Evan, you've seen him one-on-one, and you've seen him obviously a lot this year. I'm sure that was something that you kind of see a lot of, that he's able to break a lot of tackles. Takes 2 or 3 to get him down.
Oh yeah, he had you know, multiple 40-plus yard runs in the Dartmouth game. That was the game he had 253 yards. And the thing is too is that he's, you know, Hall is like the biggest cheerleader for the team as well. We saw it in basketball. We saw it now. The positivity from him, it's not just good on the field, he's good off the field too. You know, I got to interview him when the Patriots had their youth football camp. They came down, Coach Buffington came down to Durfee with, you know, some former coaches and players, and I interviewed him. He was in middle school, and he says, I want to work hard. I'm setting goals. This is in middle school, mind you. I'm setting goals, and I want to be the best running back in the area. Well, guess what? He's a junior, and he is.
And Joe, you know, it's interesting because New Bedford has been able to move the football, and we've seen this, and they've been able to go from the 20s to the 20s pretty nicely. It's just a matter of trying to find the way to eliminate penalties, get the ball in the end zone, and you have to match. If you can't stop on defense, then you got to find a way to match it on the offense.
Ball went out of bounds on the kickoff, so it's marked at the 35-yard line. New Bedford with their opening possession of the afternoon. The quarterback is number 1, Ryan Dawsonberg. Dawsonberg with Frazier offset to his left. Dawsonberg going to run the option here.
Plenty of room.
To Frazier. He's at the 40. Now the 45 midfield. Durfee territory, the 40. Finally tripped up out of bounds right around the 36-yard line of the Hilltoppers.
So New Bedford just comes out with a straight run pass option. Dawsonberg with the left-handed pitch gets it to Frazier. Good blocking on the edge, Evan. That opens the lane on the outside. That gets Frazier with some big, watch the blocking up front. Look at the Billow brothers right there making good blocks. And Frazier turns it back in and just turns it back out before it gets out of bounds. From the outside linebacker on the opposite side, number 1, Jason Hall.
And I don't know if you've seen that, you saw this, guys, but he went out of bounds at the 36, 37. They marked it at the 32. So New Bedford just picked up 5 yards on the spot.
I caught that too, Joe.
Amazing.
Dawsonberg, the quarterback,
Nice
calling
snap.
signals, gives it to Frazier. In the backfield, he's hit, avoids one tackle, spins to his left, but then is just swarmed under right at the 35-yard line. So a loss of 3.
Yeah, and it was the high snap that gave the confusion right off the bat. And by the time Dawsonberg got it and then found Frazier, linemen were already inside and creating some havoc. So it will be a loss of 3 on the play for 2nd and 13.
You can see it. That high snap, guys.
Yeah, that just broke the rhythm right there because Frazier was ready to take off again.
Frazier off to the right of the quarterback. Dawsonberg now in the shotgun. Trips to the right for New Bedford. Dawsonberg going to roll to his right. He's going to look downfield.
Good
Had a man
throw.
wide open. Passes complete. On the reception, it was Adrian Rubio for New Bedford. Rubio will be down at about the 23-yard line, so about a yard shy of the first down.
And this is a typical drive we've seen of New Bedford. The games that we have done, able to get the ball down, get it to the 20 or so, but now this is the area where they have to get in. This is a good read by Dawsonberg. Good little pass. Could have took off with it when he wanted to. Makes a good throw. They got 3rd and short. Expect two-play territory down here.
And, you know, you mentioned New Bedford struggling down in the red zone. That's an area that Durfee's defense has excelled, you know, this season and even last. So, but you're right, 2-down territory here for sure.
Dawsonberg keeping the football, fake the handoff to Frazier.
late
Now they're
switch,
pushing
yeah.
the pile as New
Wow.
Bedford's offensive line got behind Dawsonberg and pushed it right out to about the 20-yard line, and that's enough for a New Bedford first down.
And Evan, what do you think that is when you go from 20 to 20 and you look like you're in complete control? Now you get to the 20-yard line in the red zone and you struggle. What is that offensively that you think that they just can't get in?
Well, you know, you got a shorter field,
Yep.
so, you know, there's more. You don't have as much room to work with to spread out. And Durfee's defense, you know, a lot of the quicker guys from offense, like Lewis, like Hall, they play both sides of the ball. They're very quick to the ball. So, you know, as long as you don't have a blown coverage somewhere, for the most part, even if the opponent gets through the line for Durfee, the guys on the back end are going to back them up and stop them.
Bedford's going to call a timeout here with a 1st and 10 and the football right at the 20-yard line. It's Durfee 7, New Bedford nothing, 8:22 left in the first quarter.
I mean, it's probably not the one that you want to use, Joe, but then again, you've made the 20. You don't want to back up, and we've seen New Bedford with penalties back up in the past. So they call timeout, make sure they get the personnel and the right play call and be ready for this one, and hopefully match them with a score, because they're going to have to, because it might be a long day on the defensive side the way Hall can run.
Obviously not as critical in the first half if you use your timeouts early. It's the second half when you really want to budget and manage your timeouts to the end of the game, so when you need to stop the clock, you're able to do so. New Bedford does burn a timeout here, though, making sure that on this 1st and 10, they have the right play. Again, you want to avoid negative plays here. We saw this really as the undoing last night, Chris, for Greater New Bedford Voc Tech. When they got in the red zone, 1st down plays, they had a lot of negative plays that really affected their ability to get the ball into the end
about
zone.
5 possessions, too, inside the 20.
So Whalers with the football right at the 20-yard line. Quarterback is Dawsonberg. He's going to roll this time to his left. Look, has a man wide open. Again, finding number 11, Rubio. He has the football as he heads toward the sideline. Same play, a levels type concept where you have 3 wide receivers on one side of the field. They all run at different levels. Very easy for the quarterback to pick out someone when he rolls to that side.
Yeah, inside guy in the slot just rolls out to his left, and then he does the same with a quick little 2-yard just out into the flat area. Led him a little bit too far, so he fell and got out of bounds, but it's a pickup of 5, so it's like a run play of 5 yards.
Yeah, good mobility from Dawsonberg. You know, the other quarterback that was pretty prolific that we saw this year is Medley, of course, from Brockton. He threw for 300 yards in that opening game against Durfee. But the Hilltoppers don't see a lot of mobile quarterbacks, so we'll see how the defense can handle that.
This time to give to Frazier, and not much there. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. They'll mark the football right at the 16-yard line, so no gain. 3rd and 5 now for the Whalers.
And remember, too, Evan, it's one of these kind of seasons where you got to face the top dogs right away. There's no Appalachian states, you know what I mean, that you can kind of
Right.
warm up against. You're going out against your division, and you're going with them right away. So you got to be prepared. And they face Brockton right away. Maybe, you know, different personnel are already in by the 2nd and 3rd game, but it's tough when you play them right away.
Yeah,
So again, the levels type of set for New Bedford with trips to the right. Let's see what happens here. Dawsonberg, he is going to roll to his right, has the football, has a man wide open in the end zone for a touchdown. That's Colin Rigo. Again, you run that levels concept, and sometimes the defense commits a bit too early, and Rigo was in the end zone, Chris, and he was wide open.
Yeah, and what was impressive about that, watch Dawsonberg not get nervous with the blitz from Hall on the outside. Good block by Frazier here, Evan. See, one-on-one match, but he reads it and goes inside. He could have went outside and Hall would have nailed him. That's good reading by Dawsonberg for the touchdown.
16-yard touchdown pass from Dawsonberg to Rigo with 6:54 left in the first quarter. And New Bedford, with the extra point here, could tie it up.
Well, the Durfee defense had been on a streak in their first half last 2 games, which were wins. The Hilltoppers didn't allow any first half points against Dartmouth or against Northeast. Here, New Bedford's opening drive, they find the end zone against the Durfee defenders.
Yeah, and if you're Taylor Brown, I think you had to be a little bit worried on that particular play, Evan, where he was that wide open. So there was a blown coverage in the secondary. There was nobody around him, and Dawsonberg just easily lofted that one in there. So something there was out of sync for that secondary. I'm sure he'll go over it with his guys and say, fellas, what happened there? That guy can't be that wide open.
And being 6'3", you know, Dawsonberg, one of the taller quarterbacks in the conference, so able to see over the line too and get those eyes down the field. That's an advantage, being, you know, that tall.
The read and the movement, Joe, made the play, I thought, when Hall came on the blitz on the outside. Good block by Frazier, but we've seen Dawsonberg take it to the outside more, and Hall would have been there. So seeing that and reading and stepping up on the inside and then making the read was perfect.
One thing we've seen from Dawsonberg, he throws much better when you reduce the field in half and you have him on the roll. You've seen it so far here today. 3 rollout looks by Dawsonberg, all completions, and that time he picked out Rigo in the end zone wide open. DaCosta's extra point was good, and now New Bedford has tied it at 7.
Yeah,
Return on the near side here by the Hilltoppers, and that was Thomas, and he was hit hard, and now both squads meeting there. A lot of New Bedford players reacting, and the coach has got to get them to.
Well, listen, there was a big hit
back
on the opposite side, and Durfee got excited about it, so New Bedford comes back and justifies it. They do the same thing, so you got to kind of expect it. It's that kind of rivalry.
Yeah, it's tit for tat here when
good job, though,
New
of
Bedford
staying in bounds. Remember, he's going to get about almost 10 yards of coming on that side, and then he gets whacked
took a big
up
hit.
top.
Almost a clothesline, and you know,
almost.
Durfee got lucky because the ball skipped through Montero first before Thomas was there to back him up.
I think it was Anderson Cruz that made that hit.
It was.
Man, you know,
number 28,
it came
Anderson
up high.
Cruz.
So let's see if the defense can find a way to stop number 1, because it's been 2 plays for the touchdown. Let's see what happens here.
You got to commit to stop Hall.
Yeah, you got to force Thomas to do something.
100% and make sure somebody else beats you for the rest of the afternoon. Any play fake, Hall should be tackled regardless if he has the ball or not. They're going to have a jet sweep action here. Give the ball to the outside. Nice run here by Durfee's number 8, Kelvin Strong, sweeping to his left. He got it across the 40 to the 41 of the Hilltoppers. That's a gain of 5. It'll set up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Brazil had him for a stop, maybe for only 2. He didn't make the open field tackle. Got away from it, Evan, and gets a good chunk of first down for 5 yards.
And that was actually Jaden Lewis, who usually backs up Hall and number 6.
Yep.
And Lewis, they run this play a lot. When they're not going to go to Hall, they set him in motion for the sweep, and they use Hall as another blocker, and it worked well for them halfway to the first down.
Handoff here to the tailback. Hall swarmed under right at the 40-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard. They've tried that right side of the line twice. Not much there. In fact, they've lost yards on both occasions.
I was just going to say, kind of a mixed bag. 3 plays for Hall taking the ball, 3 carries, and twice getting stopped on this side, but then, down the field, 37 yards for the score. So I'm going to put my money on left side on this next play.
Well, it'll be interesting to see on 3rd and long. I wouldn't consider it 2-down territory if Taylor Brown wants to get to the outside, because right now the inside has been a little bit clogged. So let's see what New Bedford comes up with a 3-4 look this time. He's passing.
Looking here, near side, pass is complete. Jaden Lewis on the reception.
Short.
Not enough for a first down.
I'm surprised by that call, to be honest with you. I really thought they would have run it again.
So a gain of about 3, it looks like. It's going to set up a 4th and 3.
It looks like the punt unit's going to come out.
Durfee will bring out their special teams.
Now remember, I believe Hall is the kicker. Am I correct?
Yeah, Hall is he punts it.
So you have to be careful here, Joe.
Yeah,
Another
absolutely.
thing you have to worry about.
This is like a punt return when you're catching it as a punter, and it's you have the entire defense in front of you. If I was Durfee, this would definitely be one of those where I'd be considering the fake.
A lot of room on the left, a lot of room on the far side there.
Going to take it, but he's going to boom it away.
Wow, really?
High, wobbly kick.
It's going to go left too.
Short, kicking down at about the 31, and then
bounce.
takes a Durfee roll inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line, it looks like.
Don't know what Brazil was doing there. I mean, they're calling fire, or get out of the way, and he runs over to the ball. Get away from the ball.
And Mark DeBrito.
I don't understand that.
Mark DeBrito is all over Floridan, Brazil, because he's saying, that ball hit you. They're yelling poison. You need to get away from it.
Get out of the way.
Well, good punt from Hall. He's, the legs are strong in the kicking and the running game, and the little bounce there got him another 5 yards. So, hey, nothing you can do. A 3 and out for the Whalers, and their defense came up strong, and now we got a timeout.
With 4:14 remaining here in the first, and the score tied at 7, New Bedford gets the possession, their 2nd of this first quarter.
This is that change of possession break that we have here due to COVID, so the two teams will take a little bit of a break here, gather themselves with 4:14 left in the first quarter. Officially, this is an officials timeout, neither team being charged.
Anything to, make the game a little longer, right?
Well, we understand, the reasoning
course.
behind it. They get the water, they get the mask off, they kind of catch a little bit of a breather, especially on a beautiful day like today, which makes it even more exciting for the kids. So they just want to make sure everything is the way it should properly be. And for the Hilltoppers, it's a little bit now of how to slow down, I guess, the New Bedford offense. New Bedford was pretty good with the run and the pass. They were able to do both and move it, Joe, and they got to the 20, as we said, and then they found the wide open Rigo, which has been uncommon for New Bedford, but still, it's how Durfee now can react and slow down a little bit, maybe force some pressure on Dawsonburg to make a turnover and create, because he's been known to be a little nervous, a little shaky sometimes when he's had some pressure.
Yeah, the thing here is, again, is the Durfee coaching staff on top of the fact that whenever New Bedford has run trips, as they are here, to the near side of the field, they've had the quarterback roll to that side. Let's see what happens here. Here's where you need to adjust. This time they're going to run the option, the opposite side, pitch it to Frazier, and he'll get across the 25 out to about the 29. So a gain of about 3 for Jaden Frazier.
So go to the short side that time
when you run the option.
with the trips on the other side, and Frazier made it up on his own because it looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss, and then he cut back, got by 1, and able to get forward for at least 2 or 3 yards to bring up 2nd and 7.
Football marked at the 29-yard line. Again, New Bedford will show trips here to the near side of the field, the wide side of the field, with Frazier, the running back, offset to the left of the quarterback, Dawsonberg, who's in the shotgun. New Bedford has stayed in the shotgun exclusively here this afternoon so far.
Blitz.
Here comes a blitz from Durfee. Dawsonberg's going to roll to his left. He has room to run here, but he's going to look to the sideline, has a man wide open, and the pass is complete. Stepping out of bounds for New Bedford, Rainine Goodine on the reception. Same play, Chris, again, levels play, and you can see that Dawsonberg surveys the field well when he's only looking at half of the field.
So either when he rolls right or rolls left, that's where he's been most successful. Getting him out of the pocket, Joe. Got a good block from Frazier, and then took his time and put a little bit of something on that one for Goodine. Just gets out of bounds, get the first, and live for another set of downs.
It's great high school football when you decide that, you know what, this is not the pros. Half the field is more than enough for a quarterback to read. And you can see Dawsonberg there, Chris. He could have run, but instead he looked, finally found Goodine wide open and hit him for a pass on enough for a first down. He's 4 for 4 passing so far. Frazier's the back offset to his right. The trips again to the right this time. Dawsonberg tries to roll to his right. He's going to look to the sideline, has a man open, and the pass is complete. Dawsonberg this time finding Tristan Franklin right at the sideline. He steps out of bounds after a short gain, but positive work here this afternoon so far from the Whalers and their quarterback, Ryan Dawsonberg.
Yeah, and the blocking of Frazier again on the outside linebacker blitz with Dawsonberg can step in underneath. So another good job from the running back to get Dawsonberg open to see his man and get it. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Yeah, small sample size, of course, only 2 home games for Durfee, but, the Hilltoppers haven't seen a quarterback this mobile yet. So, and you can see that it's giving them some challenges on defense. I expect the mistakes, some stuff to be corrected, but going to be a challenge.
Give to Frazier there on a 2nd and 2, maybe a yard.
I think it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Looks like it's going to be 3rd and a long one. They'll mark it halfway between the 46 and 47, so 3rd and about a yard and a half as New Bedford with the football with 2:08 left in the first quarter. Whalers moving it successfully here. It's primarily been through the air. So again, the keys we've seen so far, Chris, is whenever they have trips to a side, that's the side they've rolled to. They've run the ball to either side and run the option to the opposite side of the trips formation here so far this afternoon. We'll see what the Whalers have this time with 3 wide receivers to the right. Dawsonberg this time stays in the pocket, a pop pass and a hard hit. He had a man open. Adrian Rubio had the ball, but then he was hit hard right in the lower back. Pass incomplete as it was knocked out of his hands. Sets up a 4th down, and Rubio is down.
Davon Moole with the play coming up from the safety position, and to whack him, ball was in his hands, but as soon as he took the pop in the back, Evan, he dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable tackle right there. I mean, anytime you get twist backwards, you can see the replay here. Up quickly, but that's definitely going to ring your bell.
So the question here for New Bedford, are you going to punt the ball away on a 4th and a yard and a half, or are you going to go for it? And I think head coach Mark DeBrito has decided he's going to punt it away, or at least he's going to show that look. We've seen so far, based on the fact that he had the onside kick to start the game, that he's probably looking at this one saying, hey, you know what? We're 0-3. This finishes up our season. Maybe we roll the dice with some gambles here this afternoon. So do not be surprised if New Bedford tries something here, if not on this punt, later in the contest.
Well, Dawsonberg is on the sideline getting some water, so he's not out there. So it is the special teams unit, Joe. And you're right. We'll see if there's a fake. It was a 4th and a long one, like 1.5.
Trying to get the kick away. It's DaCosta, end over end boot here near sideline. Hits at the
big
20, goes inside the 10, now inside the 5-yard line.
Could be down at the 1.
And it's knocked down.
Yes,
They'll
it
say
is.
the ball is going to be spotted inside the 1-yard line. So it's about at the 1-foot line on a fine effort to keep it from going into the end zone.
It looked like it went in the end zone.
It was interesting because
let's see the replay
thought
again.
Lewis was actually going to touch it right here.
I got nervous.
and I thought he was going to catch it and get whacked right now, and then he let it go. He goes in the end zone.
It was touched right there before the end zone and downed by.
So it could be maybe at the 3.
Yeah.
But they're going to say it's at the 1.
Wow.
The difference in high school and college football as opposed to the NFL, once you step in the end zone, you'd have to reestablish on the field as the player knocking the ball into play.
Mm-hmm.
In high school and college, that's not the case. You just have to be in bounds when you touch it. So even if you didn't reestablish, it looked like, Chris, he did go in the end zone, and then he comes back out, like right there. He steps, he's in the end zone.
Right, but did he touch it before is what we're looking at with his right hand. Oh, timeout.
The officials say he did not. Timeout on the field. New Bedford calling the timeout. Something amiss here with the defense, it looks like.
Good thing, because Hall was already at the 20 with nobody in front of him.
So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 11 players on the field. It's just whatever they had for formation. Certainly the coaches did not like what they saw, and they called the timeout. Second that the Whalers are burned here in the first quarter.
Well, listen, Joe, you cannot see this ball going to the outside. This is a quarterback sneak off tackle left or off right, or you turn to Hall and he gets up the middle. You have to find a way to clog right here in that middle and force Hall to see what he can do to get by someone and not give up a hole. It's as simple as that. I cannot see them going wide. I'd be shocked if they went to the outside. So, and they didn't even have an opportunity, because I thought they might, where Thomas just moved left and right and get out of the 1-yard line and just get some breathing room, as we call it. But they went right to Hall. And so remember, by the time he's getting it, it's still 2 yards in the backfield, which is in the end zone. So that's where they have to be careful.
So we talked a lot about this yesterday, Chris, when teams really do not have alternate formations, especially at least one formation under center. So here's where you want to be under center. You want the quarterback sneak, or at least the option, so that the defense packs it in. You can give it to the tailback. But when you're snapping it in the shotgun, now you're in the end zone, as you mentioned. And certainly here, New Bedford has to make sure that if Durfee's wants to gamble to the outside, go ahead.
Yeah, this is where Cherry and Roach should become real important right here. 50 and 52 to see if they can come up with a little bit of push on that line.
Quarterback Thomas, and looks like a false start.
Or offsides. Which one?
So if New Bedford was drawn offside, this is a big penalty. It's 5 yards. If Durfee has a false start, it's if you're a foot out, you move it 6 inches.
Yes.
All of Durfee was clapping. New Bedford was not reacting, so I have to think it's offsides, and that looks to be the call.
We'll see here. The officials moving our way.
Joe, what do you think about not even under center?
Yeah, and that's my point. You have to be under center in a situation like that. It's not the, but you see these teams where they do not practice going under center at all with their quarterback. You need a formation where you're under center. You can run with the quarterback. Last night we saw Greater New Bedford Voc-Tech, 1st and goal from the 2, snapping it in the shotgun. And so what can happen is anything negative. From the 2-yard line in high school football, you could sneak it in 4 downs. You're going to get in the end zone. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, a little breathing room now.
Thomas takes the snap, gives it to Hall, right side, has a big hole. He's at the 25, 30, now 35, 40, 45, 50. Finally brought down, out of bounds, in New Bedford territory at the 47-yard line.
This time off tackle right, Evan, and a little bit of a hole, and then he got a block. I believe that one was from Lewis. Let's watch when it comes in with Paradise, takes Souza off to the inside. Now, once he gets through here, there's the block right there from Lewis on number 4, Abel Alves Arugio. that busted him loose.
47-yard gain. He's just too big once he gets out in the open field. Very hard to bring down. New Bedford
stay in bounds.
Kind of riding his back there for a good 10 to 15 yards. Quarterback Tom is calling signals. The strength of the formation is to the left. They give it to Hall up the middle. He'll get it across the 45 to the 44, so it's a gain of about 3.
So what I've seen so far, fellas, and maybe you can jump on board here, Evan, he may not be as fast as Todman when he gets the ball to the hole, but once he gets through the hole, or he can be just as quick and obviously the size and the speed that can carry him after that, being obviously that tall at 6'2", 215.
Yeah, it's the power of Hall, really. It's not so much, a mad dash. I think of Lewis as more of the quick, and Holly as the quick mad dash type runners, rushers for the Hilltoppers. But Hall is to me like a Corey Dillon. Big, right?
Rolling
big,
with the quarterback. It's Thomas, left side of the field, has a big hole. He's inside the 30-yard line.
That's a run all day long. That had nothing to do with pass there. Guys, it was just more of, hey, I'm going to fake it to Hall, let the defense react, and then I'm just going to take it around, almost like a little bootleg, if you wanted to call it that.
It's a naked bootleg, and, Chris, you called it. If they go with that here today in New Bedford, as a head coach, you can't even complain.
Nope.
If they run that, then you say, tip your cap. We got to commit to stop Hall, and if Thomas runs a naked bootleg, he's going to gain some yardage. So you really got to shut down Jason Hall and commit 100% to stop him. They've not been able to do so thus far. Thomas, the quarterback, strength of the formation to the right. They'll give it this time to the fullback straight up the middle. That's Niger Strong. Strong carried it across the 25.
That will end the first quarter, gentlemen.
Got it to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, that was Montero, who's been lining up in front there next to the QB.
Check that. Yeah, Niger Montero, number 10 on the carry.
He's been good this year, Joe. He's played a good part in terms of, he doesn't get as many snaps as Hall, of course, but, he's another big body there next to Thomas, 6 feet, 190. And, he's provided some good blocks for Hall, and then he gets the quick handoff sometimes, and it catches the defense napping. That extra split second that, it would take longer to hand off to Hall, quickly turn and give it to Montero. Timing is everything, of course, and sometimes it pays off. It did right there.
Well, another quick trap is pretty much what it is, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of rest Hall, number one, outside and off tackles, and instead you come inside with the guards. You get either Paradise or Robitaille, doesn't matter which way you go. Get them trapping the big boys and see if you can get a quick little move to Montero and see if you can get it. So it is a good play to keep that front four defense honest, to say, hey, you just can't key on Hall. We got something else here too. And whether it is the quarterback bootleg or whether it's a quick trap play there. So good job by Taylor Brown and his staff on the offense to get them in almost the red zone with second and third from the 23 as we begin the second quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both sides got their possessions, and they both went down the field, and then the last possessions for each side were rather short. The defense has stepped up. Now you're seeing offense again. The Hilltoppers, making a move here. They had the longest field you could look for, basically almost 100-yard field. Ball just inside the 1, and now already knocking on the door to the red zone once again.
Durfee with the football, 2nd and 3 with the football on the New Bedford 23-yard line. The quarterback, Isaiah Thomas, in the shotgun with the tailback, Jason Hall. Strength of the formation, it's an offset eye to the right with the fullback, Montero, offset to the right of the quarterback, Thomas. They send a man in motion, fake the jet sweep, counter action, give it to Hall, tries to come off left tackle. This time he's going to be swarmed under a host of Whalers there, including number 56, Belois Souza.
Well, I like the look, the setup this time of the jet sweep, fake it. Usually he gives it, and said comes back with Hall on the counter going the opposite way. Good stay at home by New Bedford. You could easily pursue and think jet sweep and move to your left, and he comes back, so that's a good job by the defense.
Yeah, actually ended up ended up being a loss. And I was just going to mention, we talked about Thomas too pregame, what we see, and just 2 passes for Thomas so far in the game, 1 for 2. So it really is primarily a ground game for the Hilltoppers. So just through 1 quarter, only the 2 attempts in the air.
Thomas, the quarterback. Offset eye to the right. Give it to the tailback, Hall. Right tackle has enough for a first down as he crosses the 20 and gets it to the 19. Gain of 4, but they only needed about 3, so it is enough for a first down. They'll move the chains.
That's a big pickup right there. Obviously 4-down territory, but you don't want to bring it down to the 4th. Hilltoppers able to get the short run and kind of go up the middle on that right side. We were talking about the right side.
Well, his
Hall
paradise,
stood
I
up.
want to watch number 70 right here, just kind of keeps him to the inside, and then by the time he turned around, it was too late. He had got Bill Souza committing to that side, and then it just led enough to get the 3 yards, the first down. So a fresh set of downs at the 19 in the red zone.
1st and 10. Football on the 19-yard line of the Whalers. Again, the formation is strong to the right. Offset eye to the right. The quarterback, Thomas, in the shotgun. They'll send Montero in motion. Check it. They'll give it to Montero this time. It was lined up at tailback. He'll run straight up the gut, cut to his right, picks up about 3, it looks like, as he got it down close to the 16-yard line.
It looks like a little bit of a change by the Hilltoppers too, Evan. It looks like Robital's now at center. It looks like he was the one that was hiking the ball on that particular play. So let's see if he goes back out there again. So maybe a couple of switches from Taylor Brown on the offensive line. Take another look at that once they come out. I thought it was,
yeah, we've seen Paradise.
Now watch 68. He's going to be the center.
Yeah.
Usually he was at guard. So now moving over to tackle has been Paradise.
And
so
for the
that's
second
interesting.
consecutive down, Montero is the running back.
Yep.
This time offset to the right of the quarterback, Thomas. They'll send him in motion. They'll give it to Hall. Hall this time off left tackle. Not much there. Again, all of the Whalers committing to the tackle, and that's what they need to do. They'll tackle him and bring him down at the 15-yard line. So a gain of 1, and that'll set up a 3rd and about 6.
Well, to double back, Chris, to your thought about, the change there. You know, Robitaille under center now, and maybe that's, Coach Brown's seeing that the Hilltoppers need a little extra manpower on that right side where Hall got stood up and for negative yardage a couple times in the first quarter.
Yep.
So now you move Paradise over there. He's the biggest guy on the team. That's going to solidify, hopefully, that right side for the Hilltoppers.
Straight back, it's Thomas looking, pressured in the backfield, still on his feet.
Get him there.
But sensing the pressure, he is brought down.
That's a huge sack for New Bedford right there, because now it brings up 4th down, and if you got yourself a field goal kicker, you could probably take a attempt. If not, then obviously you're going 4th and 4th. So a decision time for Taylor Brown with the ball spotted at the probably 18 or 19.
At the 18, so a loss of 3 on the play sets up a 4th and about 9.
Too much on the inside there, Evan. He's got to get to the outside when he's in trouble like that.
And Chris, you're in 4-down territory there, so really no need to pass the football when you have Jason Hall run the ball. It was only a 3rd and 6, not a desperate situation at all. And with the sack, now you're kind of forced to throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, you get the idea of, all right, let's try to give New Bedford a little something different to think about. But that play didn't start off well, and it ended even worse, quite honestly. And it ended with Thomas trying to roll back. He actually tripped on his own man before getting tackled. So just kind of a rough play. They are lining up with trips to the left, but I'm expecting a running play here on 4th down. Oh, now a timeout.
And Durfee's going to call a timeout. They had trips to the left with Hall as the back offset to the left of the quarterback, Thomas, but decided that wasn't what they wanted or didn't like the look from New Bedford defensively, so they call a timeout. With 7:11 left here in the first half, both teams have already used 2 timeouts, so won't have many left for the end of this first half. In a game that's tied at 7 with 7:11 left. Again, in this second quarter. Joe Cabral being joined here this afternoon by Chris Santos and Evan Massoud of Fred TV. We're on Facebook Live with you both in New Bedford and Fall River. And of course, if you're watching on delay on the New Bedford Cable Network.
I have to tell you, I'm kind of surprised, actually, such a low-scoring game. I thought we would have seen a little more offense, particularly from Durfee. I mean, I know it's only their third drive. Some of these drives have been pretty long, you know, and they've mostly been on the ground. Only really, what, 2 penalties we've seen. So the clock will continue to roll. It shortens the game. You know, but a big stop. This is a big play for New Bedford, really, because, you know, they could take over. If they sustain a drive, they could really finish off this second quarter, and then they get the ball that start the second half.
Joe, if you get an opportunity to keep him on the inside on this play and not let him get out in the flat or get to the outside and force Thomas to look for someone else, I think that will be a big advantage for New Bedford. So keep an eye on number 1 as he'll line up on the left side of Thomas, but will he go out in the flat? Will he get through the line and move over to the right or left? Let's keep an eye on that as they go trips to the left.
Trips to the left. Quarterback Thomas will roll to his left. He's going to look downfield, fires. He had a man wide open. It was Montero, and the ball was beyond his reach, incomplete, and Durfee will turn over the football on downs.
Yeah, but he was there, Evan. It was wide open. It's just not a very good pass by Thomas.
No, yeah, inaccurate pass. Montero was there, had enough for the first. You'll see it again here on the replay. Thomas had plenty of space, but you know, that's an awkward angle too. He's throwing off the offside there, the off foot, being a righty, rolling to the left, and just let him too far out of bounds. But he did have Montero there. That's a missed opportunity for Durfee.
And Montero had plenty of running room.
Yeah,
would have been able to come up with the first down. But on the incompletion, Durfee turns the football over on downs, and it's New Bedford's football now right at the 18-yard line.
And it looks like in the backfield is Bill Souza, number 57.
So they're using Silva as a fullback.
Yep.
They're going to give it to Frazier. He's going to cut back against the grain on a counteraction move and gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Now Jaden Lewis with the great tackle, quick feet. That's his bread and butter. You know, you go one-on-one with someone, Lewis can juke left and right on defense just like he can when he's running the ball, and right there made a big stop.
Yeah, anytime you get an open field tackle, because it's one-on-one matchups, you can bring someone down. That's a huge bonus for your defense. Good gain for New Bedford on first down, with Souza continuing in the backfield. Usually he's on the line,
now they
playing fullback.
Now they move him to fullback to the left of the quarterback, Dawsonberg. Counter action again. They give it to Frazier. Has a big hole straight up the middle of the field. More than enough for a first down as he gets it all the way out to the 39-yard line before he's finally brought down.
2 plays, Evan, and 2 plays from Lewis. If he's not there, this could be another home run.
Yeah, look at that. Wrapping up. It almost jarred the ball loose even, too. Had the wherewithal to also punch at the ball. So Lewis, you know, saving the Hilltoppers defense on 2 plays from potentially giving up 6 points on a one-shot deal.
First and 10 for New Bedford with the football at the 39-yard line of the Whalers. Clock is running under 6 minutes now left in this first half. They'll stay with Souza in the backfield, the offset eye to the right of the quarterback. Now they'll give it to Frazier. Again, counter action as he cuts back against the grain, but loses the football, and Durfee has it. Ball popped up right into the hands of number 4, Thomas, coming up from his safety position, and Durfee has the football.
Frazier's trying to say he was down, but I don't think so.
Didn't look like it, Chris. The ball came out, and that's not the way the ball comes out when you're on the ground.
Nope, not even close.
And Lewis was in on that tackle as well. Might have, again, you know, given the ball a bit of a punch to try to jar it loose. So 3 plays, and the Durfee defense there, led by Lewis, making it happen. How fitting that it goes right back to the QB, to Thomas, who, you know, didn't get the completion on 4th and 9. Ball goes right to him, and Durfee takes over on New Bedford's side.
Yeah, it's been big all season for New Bedford, Joe.
Looks like
right there.
Another timeout. I think this is the officials' timeout.
I think you're right.
As we have a hydration break here.
Yep.
2 teams on a change of possession, head to the sidelines.
I'll do the same.
Get a drink. 5:43 left in the first half. The turnover by New Bedford, their first of the afternoon. And the fumble by Frazier, who's had a good afternoon so far. And on that drive, New Bedford using a fullback and really started to move the ball aggressively between the tackles.
So with 5:43 remaining, plenty of time for the Hilltoppers to do something with the football, but plenty of time for New Bedford maybe to stop them and get the ball back as well. So both teams trying to generate the offense. And as Evan said earlier, maybe not as high scoring as we thought this game might be. It is trying to find a way at least to just take the lead going into the half.
Well, I'm impressed by New Bedford's defense so far. You know, the Hilltoppers have put up over the last 2 games over 50 points combined. You know, they beat Dartmouth 28-7, and then they threw up 39 points last week at Northeast in the pickup game. So, you know, I expected them to be up.
Wide receiver screen. They'll get it on the outside to Lewis, still on his feet down that sideline. Lewis finally pushed out of bounds. Just a wide receiver screen, bubble screen there, and they got the ball to Jaden Lewis, and he went down that right sideline before he was bumped out of bounds at the New Bedford 20.
That was a backwards pass, too.
Sure was.
So
could have been a lateral.
yeah, just a couple yards back.
Yep.
So, you know, glad that Lewis was uncovered there. Those always make me nervous because so much could happen and go wrong if that ball comes loose.
That was a gain of 26 on the play for Jaden Lewis. Durfee with the football now in the red zone of New Bedford. The quarterback, Thomas, offset eye to his right. He'll give it to the tailback, Hall, straight up the middle, had a big hole this time, and plows his way inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
Just following his big center, number 68, Robital, straight up the gut, no right, no left, right behind the center. Gave about 6 on the play, so bring 2nd and 4, and the first down is at the 10.
They actually marked Lewis down on that catch and run a little bit further back than I thought. They marked him out of bounds at the 20. I thought he actually got down to the 15. Tough to see the far sideline, of course, but
quarterback Thomas takes the snap, play action, swing here. This time again, they go to the outside, and that's Lewis for a touchdown.
They have it protected, Joe, with Devin Soares, but it's the stop and the cutback after the catch and the speed and jukeness of Lewis that does it. Now watch, you're going to see 19 come into your picture here, one-on-one. Overran, stop, turn, and gets in for the 6.
And this is the difference. We were talking about Hall. Hall's big and fast, but Lewis is just quick. He can get through any hole. And, you know, how about that? The passing game got it done for the Hilltoppers in basically a minute's time.
Yeah, and it's smart play calling, Joe, because Taylor Brown says, hey, I don't have to go deep. I can use some of my speed guys, little quick bubble screens, one to the right, now one to the left, and picks up the touchdown.
Well, defensively, you're always trying to limit what you have to do to certain parts of the field, and the offense is saying, no, you're going to play defense the entire field, horizontally and vertically. And so Durfee there decided to go like, wait a minute, you're showing a bit too much here, pack in the middle, so we're going to use the horizontal game here and go left and right, and they found Lewis twice, the same play, just reverse the formation, just a bubble screen to Lewis, and then you saw him score from 14 yards out, a play that he made on his own, just a fine move there to avoid the initial tackler and basically walk into the end zone from there. So they're saying, you want to stack the middle, you want to put 8 players in the box, we're going to do this. And so New Bedford will have to answer here, try to figure out ways to stop that from Durfee.
And Lewis coming off a week last week at Northeast Metro where he had 2 touchdowns. One was a 47-yard touchdown reception, and then he also had a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown. So, you know, Lewis can get it done too. And, you know, the catch and run is really something that he's excelled with, you know, getting open, and those sweeps, of course, that, you know, we saw a couple of them earlier in the game.
So this will be an important drive for New Bedford. Still plenty of time here, 4:51 left in the first half. Inacio was successful with the extra point. He's kicking off here. New Bedford with twin safeties back, ball traveling here near sideline, and it's picked up right at the 10-yard line by Frazier. He'll get it out across the 20, close to the 24, but I think they'll mark it at the 23.
And Durfee lucky that it got a favorable bounce because it looked like it was hooking to go out of bounds, and then it, about maybe 5 yards there, it cut back in right to Frazier, and he had to return it.
First and 10 for the Whalers at the 23-yard line. It'll be interesting to see here, guys, if they go back to the running formation they used on that last drive before the turnover, or will they return to the air game, which really was the key on their scoring drive. They'll try that here as they'll go trips to the left and have Frazier, the running back, offset to the left of the quarterback, Dawsonberg. He's in the shotgun. He's going to take a snap. He's going to roll to his left, looking, has a man, pass incomplete. This time he was looking for Goodine, and the ball was beyond his reach. Goodine looked like he had his man beat. Would have been a short gain, but ball was off the mark.
And first real bad pass by Dawsonberg this afternoon, and I actually like the play calling right now by Harry Lowe and Mark DeBritto on what they've done with him to know to extreme what he can and can't do, and doing some nice little easy routes, some easy rollout passes, not really that drop back and stay in the pocket kind of a thing. And so they're trying to favor the young man, and he has shown up. That's, like I said, first bad pass of the day, and they go back to Souza in the backfield.
Well, you want to build confidence too, especially when you're 0-3. Any little play that can get the offense into a rhythm and make you feel good on the field, it's gonna turn into something more eventually.
Dawsonberg takes the snap, gives it to Frazier. Had a nice block to the outside by Souza. He gets it out close to the 30-yard line. So gain of about 7 on the play. They'll mark it actually across the 30.
And Frazier is down, I believe.
Player is down right at the sideline. Oh, he's back up.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah, he just bounced right back up. He was down for a while. I don't know what
Don't know what that was about.
Yeah, unsure because he jumped right up.
Yeah. So,
but has to come to the sideline. Once the officials acknowledge that, he has to come to the sideline and take a break here and get looked at by the trainer. So it's going to be 3rd and about 3. Expect New Bedford to use that passing formation. And again, the trips to the wide side of the field here. Durfee has not really covered this well at all. So let's see here as New Bedford spreads the field.
Lewis off cam. They put him further down, almost as a safety now, kind of floating in the middle of the field. Dawsonberg
takes the snap. He's going to look here on a fly route on this near sideline, but just threw it up, and Fernandez could not get there, and incomplete on the go route.
Had a mismatch with Thomas. Fernandez is a little bit taller and maybe, not maybe faster, but he did get by him, and he had it, and Lewis was coming over to the other side. So unfortunately, it will be a turnover of downs and going to have to punt for New Bedford.
And you saw Mark DeBritto talking to Dawsonberg. You hate to go for that type of play on a 3rd and 2, and he was saying, look on the other side of the field. That's where we wanted to go. You only throw that route if the man is wide open, and he wasn't.
And the other thing too is, if you look left, it checks the safety off. It makes the safety go over, and then you can come back.
There's a knuckleball punt that takes a good roll for New Bedford and goes inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. And back to that last play for New Bedford, that's where you're a young quarterback, first year for Ryan Dawsonberg, playing at the varsity level. You're trying to say, hey, wait a minute, we want to get the first down. If there's a big play, you got to hit it. You can't just like, oh, we're going to just throw it up there and see. It's got to be one way you can look, and Mark is again talking to him on the sideline saying, you got to make sure here that when it's a 4th and 2, we don't need that big play. If it's there and we hit it, I tip my cap to you. But if not, you just throw it up in the air. And the coverage was there, Chris, and a good point on your part to say, look the defender's away, so the safety goes to the far side of the field.
Yeah, you got to sell it. I mean, that's really the bit. You got to be able to sell it. And that play was a very Brady to Gronk style of play.
Hall straight up the middle, breaks a tackle, and gets it across the 45 to the 46. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. It's a gain of 8.
And in my opinion, fellas, this is the drive right here that is going to determine this game, I think. If Durfee scores down by 2 going in a half, that's a depleted New Bedford team. If they can stop, be now only 7, puts them right back in the game for the half. I think this is a big drive for both teams.
Yeah, it's been a long 5 minutes here between the 2 possession changes, some short drives. You know, Durfee scored quick, then the defense came up, the Whalers got stops, and now the Hilltoppers with another possession. I didn't think they'd see the ball again.
High, strong to the right. They give it to Hall. Gets to the second level, and he was tackled there. And if he would have broken that tackle, he would have been gone. But he has enough for a first down. They'll mark it at the 48-yard line of New Bedford. And the tackler there for New Bedford was holding on for dear life as Hall tried to break away. Watch it here. You can see just holding and Hall trying to spin away and finally able to bring him down. Devin Vieira was one of those in on the tackle for the Whalers. First and 10 for Durfee with the football at the New Bedford 48. Strong eye to the left. They're going to give it to Hall. Right tackle. Hall breaks the tackle and is in the secondary. He'll be gone here down that right sideline. It's a touchdown, 48 yards.
And they had him wrapped up, Joe, but they could not bring him down and put it away. And it would look like Beloy Souza on that one that could not come up with the tackle and keep him down. And the next thing you know, he's off to the races. And it's all it takes.
Yeah, they should have had him wrapped up right
now,
at the line, and he jumped. He actually leaped. Did you see that?
Yeah, and then
see you later.
Miguel Rodriguez trying to grab up high. That's not going to happen with Jason Hall.
No.
You got a guy who helps and stops. You got to come in at the waist and hit him. We're not even close.
Extra point attempt coming up here from Anasio. 48-yard touchdown run with 2:45 left in the first half.
Well, Hall's pushing 150 yards here in just the first half alone. And again, needs 238 in the game to hit 1,000 in a 5-game season. So looking likely at this point if this pace keeps up.
You know, it's been 2 breakaway runs where he's been stopped, but you have to finish the plays. And if you're not going to, he's been big enough and strong enough to get off of it and keep yourself going, like a Derrick Henry that we've compared to and some of them big running backs. And so New Bedford has to find a way to gang tackle and get that, not that one-on-one matchup, but I thought it was a big series there because now you're down obviously 2 scores. You do have 2:45 and a chance on your offense. It's still an opportunity for New Bedford maybe to pull something out, but they're going to have to do it, I think, on this drive, Joe, because they're not a team that really comes from behind.
No, and they do have time here, Chris. Still 2:45 left. Unfortunately, they only have 1 timeout remaining, so they'll have to move the ball quickly here and have some chunk plays. But there is time for the Whalers, and if they could get it back to a 1-score game at the half, I think they'd be pleased. But you have to anticipate that Hall's going to do more damage. There's a kick that's going to again go out of bounds. Second time here this afternoon that the Durfee kickoff has gone out of bounds. So it'll give New Bedford decent field position here at the 35-yard line with no time coming off the clock. So chance here for New Bedford to try to draw to within a score. They'll have to use the passing game. And Dawsonberg has not completed a pass when he's dropped straight back, Chris, if you've noticed. It's all been when he's rolled to right or left.
Correct.
And so need to continue to use him in that way where he's...
And he's only had 1 straight drop back, which was the last play that he overthrew Rodriguez.
And the pop pass.
Yes,
the pop
that's
pass.
true. That's true.
So he's had 2 that
that's true.
that he's thrown. Trips to the right for New Bedford. Durfee using twin safeties here. Dawsonberg with the football.
Draw.
Give it to Frazier. Has a big hole. Needs to get the first down. Oh, stop moving his feet there. And they're going to run the clock because of that.
I don't think so. I think they're going to give him the first down.
One official on the near side. One on the far side said run the clock. The one on the near side said no, that's enough for a first down. So that stops the clock momentarily. Dawsonberg right back out there.
And Evan, I like the play call. Watch the block by 57 to get him and force him wide so Frazier can get back underneath on the drop play. That's impressive.
And a good job by the line judge. He did cross over the line just before he got hit. So forward progress, good for the first. And right back, no huddle, right back to the line.
2:10 left in this first half. Dawsonburg, middle of the field, and that should be pass interference, and it is.
Call it.
Officials throwing flags from everywhere. Ball intended there for Colin Rigo, and contact was made before the ball arrived. Pass interference will be called against the Hilltoppers.
So, Joe, you fake the pass, and then you just turn and your feet are still. It's got to be a little bit more where I got to get my feet set and make a better throw, even though they're going to get away with it with the penalty and a little bit of a high throw. There's a timeout now on the play, but it will be first down for New Bedford.
So a timeout here. I'm guessing the Whalers are calling for the timeout. There are flags to be sorted out here, but let's see what the
might
official
have been
says.
Their
pass interference.
Moole.
Yeah, Moole came across on the top and kind of got him toward the shoulder pads, the helmet in the back as he was going up for the ball. So they make the call. They will mark off the penalty. It will be first down at the 40-yard line with 2:04 remaining in the half, and probably a possession, Joe, that points must go on the board for New Bedford.
So pass interference again in high school and college, as we've said previously, is a 15-yard penalty. So from the previous line of scrimmage, that actually benefited New Bedford in this case, gave them an extra 5 yards and moves the football down to the 40-yard line of the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, it wasn't the most egregious pass interference, but you can't touch him, obviously, when trying to make the catch. So, and that happening right in the middle of the field, you saw multiple flags come flying in. So pretty easy call for the officials. Moole's just got to back off just a little bit and then, make the tackle. Let the catch happen. You're up by 2 touchdowns, then wrap them up. If you can't get to the ball yourself to pick it off.
So 1st and 10. Dawsonburg in the shotgun. Frazier offset to his left. And Frazier moves. False start will be called against New Bedford.
Well, there was a jump from the defense. It was almost a neutral zone infraction. Then New Bedford moved. So the question is,
they're saying
they're
it was
calling
Durfee.
it on Durfee.
They're saying Durfee first, so apparently that's the case. Usually when you see a running back move, and the running back for New Bedford moved there.
The line jumped, and then I thought maybe they got back, but perhaps, they yelled, they snapped the ball just before they got back to the other side.
Or if, remember the rule is, if the defense gets into the neutral zone and causes the offense to move, it is against the defense, even if they don't make contact.
Right.
So offset to the left of the quarterback is the running back Cecilio this time. Dawsonburg fires, had a man, pass is incomplete. Was on the money, intended for New Bedford's number 13, Tristan Franklin, and just dropped it.
And the Brittle's saying to Godine, where are you running your route? Because you're going right into where the other receiver was, and you put white jerseys near that. You got to get away. So watch 80 come in, and he's going to get on the inside.
Yeah, you don't run pass routes. You don't design pass schemes like that with 2 players in the vicinity. So incomplete, 2nd and 5 now for New Bedford. Still 1:58 left, so time for the Whalers.
One-on-one matchup out on the left.
Oh, here they go with a draw again.
Got away with it.
They got it to Cecilio on the far side.
No,
that's to the end zone and then banged out of bounds just shy of the goal line. Looks like at the 2-yard line. That time it was Josh Cecilio on the play that Frazier ran earlier, that counter-action draw where the quarterback rolls slightly to his right, and there, watch Cecilio go far side of the field.
And how about the speed of Hall to catch him from the opposite outside linebacker position, way over here. If you get to watch that play again, watch number 1. He is closest to your screen, and he makes a beeline to get it to save that one.
Quick to the ball, and I'll tell you, it's like just when Durfee, you think the Hilltoppers defense now kind of figuring out the rolling out pass. Now the Whalers coming with some trickery, and it's paid off on this drive. They're going to try to cut this lead in half.
I think you got plenty of time, Joe, to run the ball here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think you got to get Frazier.
1:46 with the ball on the 3-yard line. Again, to me here, This is when I like having the ability to go under center.
Maybe we can cue up that last play, Joe, and you can watch Hall on the defensive side this time.
Well, it's a Ben Watson type play where he came back and tackled Champ Bailey as he had headed down the sideline. But a great play call there, and using Cecilio, maybe that threw off Durfee since Frazier is their lead back and he wasn't out there.
Yeah, that was maybe not common to see with Cecilio in the game to be running that, but he does a good job of getting by that end, and that's the key. You have to get by the end. Let's watch. Here's number 1 right here on the right side. Sheds his tack, and he's just going to make a beeline. That's pretty impressive to come all the way from the opposite side and dive and make that.
Yeah, didn't give up on the play.
No, it didn't.
And that shows you a player who wants to play. It's not like he's just watching out there. So New Bedford with the football on the 3, and it'll be interesting to see if the Whalers just are able to punch it in from here, Chris. And again, using the shotgun, I still see it as a disadvantage, especially when you're inside the 5. You have no quarterback sneak. You can try to run a draw, but the defense certainly gets there.
Yeah, I like it on the center myself down here, because you can always, even with a big quarterback like that, just move forward.
They're going to give it to Frazier, and this is exactly the reason why, Chris.
Yeah, and they just blitz, and they just come right on in.
You just blitz straight up the middle. No respect for a quarterback sneak of any type, so because of it, you just blitz in. And one down where you lose a couple yards, then all of a sudden you're in scramble mode. Then you're thinking, like, now we got to throw the football. We can't score from the 5 on a run.
And you don't even get a chance to use your big fullback because guys are already come by.
No, you would want that to be quarterback goes under center. You tell him, you know what, if those interior linemen are split, just go straight through the middle.
Clock running.
That was Montero on the tackle, breaking the line.
Still time here for New Bedford, but they burned a lot of time on that first down play. Just about a minute left. Here comes Durfee with the blitz. Going to swing the football.
Nope.
Frazier brought down. And Chris, we saw this last night. And again, this is where you have to be able to go under center, because it prevents the defense from doing what they're doing here. They just simply send their interior linebackers, force you to react quickly. There's no need to worry about anything over the top because there's only 10 yards of end zone and a few yards of field.
Hurry up.
I don't think New Bedford has any more timeouts.
They do not.
They're down to 25.
So you got to throw the football here if you hope to have 2 downs.
From the 11, Joe, they got backed up 6 yards.
Dawsonberg looking, needs to get rid of the football here. New Bedford's not going to score. They're not going to get off another play.
He's saying they got a timeout.
Oh, and Mark DeBrito says they do have a timeout. He calls it, so it must have been 1 timeout left.
Surprised they didn't use it before.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, if they had it in their back pocket, I mean, that's just tremendous defense from the Hilltoppers, and that's the kind of thing we've seen in the red zone. They really get tightened up, particularly as the game goes on. You would think you get tired as the game goes on. No, they're starting to figure out now and understand what the other team is doing, and they're ready for it. This has been an impressive goal line stand.
So New Bedford will try a field goal here by their kicker, Ian DaCosta. Has plenty of leg. They're going to spot the football on the 28. So this is going to be a 38-yard kick for DaCosta.
A former midfielder on the soccer team, Evan.
No kidding.
Right here, Ian DaCosta, and obviously soccer season not in season, which it usually is during football.
Right.
So that is why.
So the referee coming over saying how much time is remaining. I think they'll make an adjustment. The clock says 7 seconds.
What do you want, 9?
I thought it was 10, but I'm not sure.
So let's see if DaCosta, who is a
need a good leg here. Wind is
right to left.
Is against you here. It's blowing from, as you said, Chris, right to left. So it's in his face.
Yeah, it is in his face.
Has a big leg, but this for high school is a long kick. This is a 38-yard attempt.
Hey.
And they added 2 seconds to the clock, so 9 seconds.
The holder is Dawsonberg.
There it is. You never know.
Snap, kick.
No.
And it's no good. It was long enough, but it was wide left.
Need to start it on that right goal post and let it draw in. Probably like one of my drives in golf.
Yeah, he had the length, but it did hook.
And so with 3 seconds to go, a huge possession there, Joe, for the Whalers.
Yeah, and I think Evan's point
on that first and goal
prior to the third down is true. That you needed to call that if you had the timeout. I didn't think they had one. If you had a timeout left, you call it there so you can bring everyone over, and you have to talk to your quarterback here.
Can't get sacked.
Yeah, you have to tell him all of that. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Here's the play we're calling. You're going to get one look. Look there. If it's not there, throw the ball away. Don't scramble. You can't get sacked. We can't lose any more yardage. We've lost it on first down. We've lost it on second down. Now we're working on third down.
Well, never mind the yardage. You just, in that situation, you can't lose any more time either. And I guess I understand Coach DeBrito, probably thinking they'd kick that. All right, fine, we'll save the timeout so you can get set. All right, fine. Then you know what? The worst case, spike the ball. Something to stop the clock to give you a little more breathing room, I guess. But
if you had any intention of kicking a field goal, you have to tell the quarterback you can't take a sack. Because
right.
The loss there made it prohibitive, a 38-yard kick versus one that's under 30 yards. And there's a significant difference there for a high school kicker.
Well, an impressive second quarter, guys, as the Hilltoppers offense there. Couple big plays and, got it in gear. The 2-score lead right now, 14 points. And, New Bedford will get the ball for the second half, but I think you're right. It's going to be challenging, especially if Durfee's defense, starts getting stronger here as the game goes on. It's going to be a challenge for the Whalers.
The score at the half, it's Durfee 21 and New Bedford 7. You're watching high school football on Facebook Live and the New Bedford Cable Network. We'll take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with second half action right here on the New Bedford Cable Network.
And now, please welcome the New Bedford High School Whaler Marching Band!
We are back at the half with the score, Durfee 21 and New Bedford 7. Joe Cabral, Chris Santos, Evan Massoud with you from Andre McCoy Field. We'll recap the first half statistics, and we have some scores from games on the road.
Yeah, Evan, well, it started with the man you kept talking about, Jason Hall, unofficially 12 carries for 158 yards. Isaiah Thomas has 14 carries on the ground. He's 3 for 4 in the air. And Jaden Lewis with 4 for 43. And that touchdown we'll show you in a little bit. For New Bedford had Dawsonburg 6 for 10, a big one to Colin Rigo for a 16-yard TD. Cecilio has 32. Frazier has 69 on the ground for our stats. And let's go, Evan, to the plays and our scores in the first half. It started with the second play of the game, and it was the 37-yard TD run by Jason Hall.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've been seeing all year and even, last year as well. And it's the ability to not get stopped. Break one tackle, keep going. Break a second, keep going. Hall is so tough to tackle.
But give New Bedford some credit. They came right back down the field to tie this one up. Dawsonburg with a nice rollout finds a wide open Colin Rigo for a 16-yard TD. And then back to the Hilltoppers in the second quarter. It's going to be a 14-yard TD on a little bubble screen, and Lewis right there with the quick fake to get everybody drawn over. He jukes them, gets the touchdown. They go up 14-7. And then back to the running plays, and it's Hall once again, but this time from 48, and it looks like he was stopped.
Yeah, once again, you see right there, almost played a little leapfrog, I think, over his own linesman, put the hand on the back, said, let me get by. And then, boy, did he get by. It was just waving goodbye to the defenders. So, Hall, as you said, unofficially 158 yards, needing 238 for 1,000 on the season. This is just the 5th game. Durfee's hoping to add a game next week and pick up a game, but that's unofficial right now. We're not sure. We don't have any confirmation on that, but that's what I was told this week by the athletic department. So, Hall to get another 80 yards and hit 1,000, certainly not out of the question.
And then, Joe, still plenty of time left at the end of that half. A big break for New Bedford, got all the way down to the 2, first and goal at the 2, and they went nothing but backwards. They could not get and generate a score. 21-14 would look a lot better than 21-7 as we finish the half.
Yeah, totally different than the way it could have ended, and exactly, Chris, what we saw last night. The Voltech Bears struggled inside the 5. Their first possession of the night, they actually had the ball on the 2 after a fumble recovery and a return all the way down to the 2-yard line. Did not score. And they had 4 other possessions that night inside the 10. 3 of them inside the 5. Did not score a point. And we talked a lot last night about being able to go under center, because once you're there, if the defense is giving the quarterback sneak, you tell your quarterback, just take it. Go forward. You can't have losses. And what teams rely on inside the 10 is on first down, create a loss and cause that team on offense to start thinking, I can't run it in from here. I got to throw the ball. Makes it much, much harder to score. New Bedford kind of fell into that trap in the shotgun inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. First down, snap, loss. Second down, again, tried to go wide, loss. And then on third down, when they tried to throw the football, another loss. And it resulted in a 38-yard field goal attempt that was wide left. And New Bedford at the 3 with just under 2 minutes left, unable to score. And because of that, they trail entering the second half, 21-7.
Yeah, and you got 6'3", 190 pounds on a center. You move right or left. Hey, put Beloy Souza in that fullback position, push him from behind, maybe get him in there. We see it a lot in the pros and colleges. It's an opportunity. At least try it for a down, see what happens, see what the defense reads, and then you can kind of go from there after that. But I think you can maybe at least see it once.
Well, kind of a stark contrast between offenses and defenses, because Joe, you mentioned, right, that big stand for Durfee at the end and New Bedford's inability to move the ball, in fact, getting the negative yards. Meanwhile, down the other end of the field earlier in the quarter, the Hilltoppers were at the 1. This was in the first, and they were able to get out of that situation. The Whalers couldn't stop them and get potentially a safety or something. So, it's, again, I think, to your point, we've seen some struggles now after the good opening drive for the Whalers. The Hilltoppers defense is starting to figure it out.
Well, the penalty by New Bedford really hurt on that particular one. He gave him 5, and there's a fumble on the play, and Durfee's going to come up with it right away.
Ignacio on the kickoff, a short kickoff. I believe it went off the hands of Goodine. The teams are scrambling to recover, and Durfee has it.
Should be their ball. Just basically came across, looked like number 31, who unfortunately I don't have in my program, and just...
Yes, we do not.
Dropped the ball. Let's see if it was him again. This is just a pooch kick. I get it. Understand. He moves back, going to go for it.
No, it was Goodine. Yes, it was Goodine and 31.
Well,
as you mentioned, not in our program. They kind of came together, and neither one had it. You were right, and I was right. It was Goodine coming up, and then 31 coming over. Again, in our program, we have a Colin Gibbs at 32, but no one else listed.
Not on the website either, so it must have been a late addition, maybe a JV player just for special teams.
So Durfee with a chance to really blow it open here. They'll give it to the tailback. Hall breaks a tackle, right sideline, still on his feet, inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's across the goal line for a touchdown.
Ridiculous.
And there's a couple late flags, but the other part too was it was the stiff arm on number 50, Aaron Cherry, which leads to this touchdown because it was right at the beginning with an opportunity to take him down. He makes a great stiff arm, then moves to his right, bounces off a couple, and then in the end zone he goes.
Just ridiculous. I actually think it might be coming back because where the flags are.
But it looked like it was after the play, so I think it's some type of
it was a face mask.
Face mask, they're saying. Okay, let's see here.
The official run into Coach Brown just made the signal.
If it's a face mask against New Bedford, you can take it half the distance to the goal or on the kickoff, and I think you'll probably take it on the kickoff. It is a personal foul. Face mask against New Bedford, and they're going to take it, I believe, on the kickoff. Let's see what the official
now watch the stiff arm here on the review, guys. Now watch the left arm of Hall here on number 50. It comes right there. See how he just shoves him right down. Well, and that just sets up the whole play there. Then you can't tackle him. He's too big, and they just can't bring him down. And then after that,
too big once he gets into the second and third level.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Third touchdown for Hall.
That one from 28 yards out.
Yeah, so close to needing just about 50 now for 1,000 as countdown's on.
With 10:42 left in the third quarter. Extra point attempt by Ignacio is up, and the kick is good.
I'm so impressed by Ignacio, really. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the the Hilltoppers would just automatically go for the 2 points because they just didn't have that reliable kicking game for point afters. I mean, it's not the biggest thing in the world. There's so many more important things to worry about on the field. But when you potentially leave in points, it's a lot easier to kick the ball, I would think, than have to try to run a play and deal with, the defense on the other side. So I think it's great to see, a solid kicker for the Hilltoppers. Not something that we've seen in years past here, at least in recent memory.
But then again, if I got number 1 on my team, I don't mind having a 2-point conversion with that young man in my backfield, that's for sure. I'd like to see him trying to get the 2 yards of what they've done. So that penalty, Joe, will be excessed on the kickoff here, I believe.
Yes.
So they're going to kick off from New Bedford's 45-yard line.
So watch for the onside here.
Easily.
This is really when you want an onside because there's nothing to lose.
No.
They're going to recover it on their 35 if they get it.
And see how they're standing right now? Be careful because they might do it right now.
That's what
they may
teams
not even run
used
right
to
out.
do. They wait for the.
They're thinking about it.
They wait for the official to blow the whistle. You got to get the official to blow the whistle.
He did.
Well, we all know the Whalers have, really, for the most part, in the last 20-plus years, 30 years, controlled this rivalry and have had some pretty lopsided. So, Durfee not going for it. I thought they might.
And New Bedford's going to return it.
Yep.
Frazier at the 15. Nearly got it out to the 20. New Bedford has to be thankful there that Durfee decided to kick off.
He had a lot of room on this near side, but he darted back into the pile. I'm kind of surprised by that. There was some room on the sidelines for some one-on-one matchups I think might have been a little easier for him, but
he caught the thing at the goal line. I was kind of surprised by that. Just let it go.
But he got it right back to the 20, so no harm, no foul. 1st and 10 for New Bedford, but now they're down 3 scores. And sometimes when you look at a team's record and you see the results of the games, you say, wow, it's been a really rough road. But a game like today is a classic example of how you have a difficult season. New Bedford, in a game that's tied at 7, falls behind 14-7. They're moving the football. They have a fumble here in the backfield. Nothing doing for Frazier. Check that, it was Rigo. On the carry.
It looks like Rattray, number 78, got in there, I believe, right there, who is
That's a Jean Rattray.
a junior, 6 feet 265, got by Luis Lopez, number 53, the offensive lineman, and a loss of 5 on the play.
Sets up a 2nd and 15. Quarterback Dawsonberg, and Frazier is offset to his right. Trips to the right for New Bedford. Dawsonberg will roll to his right. Look. Gets rid of the football. This time he was being brought down as he tried to throw. A ball intended for Goodine. Never got there. Incomplete. But as I was saying, that's how a bad season goes. You're in a game. You're playing well. You're doing a relatively good job against Hall. You're down 14-7, but you're moving the ball. You fumble. They get it back. You get to go ahead 14-7, I should say. Then you have the football. You march it right down the field. You have it at the 3-yard line. You're going to get within a score, and you don't score. Then the second half you...
So what are we checking, though, here, fellas? Did he cross the line of scrimmage? Is it intentional grounding? What do we got?
Could be. Let's see here. The official moving in our direction.
He got wrapped up pretty quickly and spun down.
I don't think they're calling anything.
Let's see.
No, just an incomplete pass.
Yeah. Decided to say no harm, no foul.
No, and Durfee's defense, I keep mentioning it, playing with a lead is obviously where you want to be for any team. And when Durfee plays with a lead, then the defense gets even stronger because...
Middle screen.
Dawsonberg on the screen, got it to Frazier, but he's brought down in the backfield.
And not fooled on that play was number 2, Dante Sawyer, there to make the tackle.
And that's a good example, Chris, is that, they're playing with a little more freedom because there's some room for error. Your back's not against the wall.
Yep.
For New Bedford, it is right now. 3 and out.
So it was set up, Joe, but sniffed by the Hilltop is Sawyer, and there to make the play.
So 4th and 17. New Bedford will kick it away with DaCosta.
No room for error, Joe. We've seen some high snaps, to the quarterback. The long snapper here has got to be careful. He's going to be kicking from the end zone.
It's Thomas and Lewis to return the kick for Durfee. High snap, floating snap. DaCosta gets it away, but a very short kick and toward this near sideline.
That was coming right to me. I wanted that one.
Should be out of bounds at the 28, I believe.
It's going to be marked right at the 28. So short kick, approximately 18 yards in length, and that'll mean Durfee with outstanding field position at the 28.
That's actually about where they started, after the fumble on the kickoff.
It's where they scored last time, from the 28. Thomas, the quarterback. Durfee now up 3 scores, 28-7, 8:41 left. Just think how the last 10 minutes of this game have played out. It was a 7-7 game, and now it's 28-7.
And that's how dangerous this offense really can be, particularly with Hall as its leader. Look
Here's
at
Hall,
this.
no one touching him. He goes right up the middle of the field. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. 28-yard touchdown run for Jason Hall. In fact, back-to-back 28-yard touchdown runs on his last 2 touches. And Durfee goes up 34-7.
Yeah, nobody looked like he wanted to touch him on that play, Joe, to tell you the truth.
This is
watch,
one where...
Watch 7 come up.
Yeah, just
okay,
kind of
forget
wave,
about it. Yeah, just wave.
That's, here's your crooked stat. That's 12 touchdowns for Hall in the last 10 quarters of football. That's just absurd.
Extra point attempt here from Anasio. And his kick is up and good.
5 for 5.
So a game that was close. New Bedford playing it well for a good majority of that first half. And then all of a sudden, it all came apart. Late in the first half, it was a 48-yard touchdown run by Jason Hall with 2:45 left in the first half. That gave Durfee a 14-0 lead, 14-7 lead, pardon me. And then here in this second half, 21-7 lead at that point. And then 2 touchdown runs of 28 yards in length here on consecutive touches in the second half for Jason Hall, and now it's 35-7. So it went from 21-7 with New Bedford knocking on the door to make it 21-14 just prior to the half to 35-7. And that's all happened in the last 5 minutes or so of playing time. Kick here by Ignacio, another short kick. Goodine comes up, takes it, avoids a tackle at the 30. Now trying to head to the outside, and he's hit hard, stays on his feet. Goodine still with it, pushing the pile forward with some teammates, and gets it out to about the 33-yard line.
What a hit put on by Montero. And, you know, he was able to get back up because he fell on his own teammate, never went down officially. So had to get back up and keep going. Right here. Boom.
Bedford with the football. Saw the hit there. Goodine stayed on his feet, able to just kind of shrug it off, and gets it out to the 34 with the official spotted.
And you would think that Brown would make a couple of changes, and one you're going to see, Evan, is Hall is not out there now on defense, which is probably smart, and to just kind of conserve and make sure he makes the right decisions with 8:14 to go in the third. So you'll see some couple of different personnel as they have themselves a 28-point lead.
They're going to give it on a reverse here. Fake to Frazier and give it to Brazil. He goes to the right side of the formation, comes up close to a first down. The carry there was number 10, floored in Brazil on the carry.
Evan, I'll give you one name who makes the tackle so he doesn't go all the way.
Lewis.
Simple as that.
Of course, yeah, Lewis has been huge.
Number 6. Let's watch him again.
Yeah.
He's going to come in because right here he's got to the secondary. He could break it. No. Number 6 says, no, you don't.
So quick to the ball.
No, you don't.
So quick to the ball.
I'll take you out at the legs.
To your point about Hall, though, I think he'll, not in on defense. I think that you'll see him one more series on offense to get him to 1,000 because he's about 25 yards short, unofficially.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see him for one more series, and then probably going to see Castro come in, number 24, for the Hilltoppers. He got a number of snaps when they pulled Hall in the Dartmouth game, again, for the same reason, 28-point lead at the time in that one. So, and now a timeout.
New Bedford calls the timeout here with a 1st and 10 and the football on the 44-yard line of New Bedford.
So with 7:35 down by 28, a timeout is called. Ball on the 44, 1st and 10 for New Bedford. As Evan has gone over and to get the official word maybe on how much he needs for 1,000 yards.
Well, our unofficial, I guess, is pretty official. I said 25. That's what the coaches said.
Oh, there you go.
So 25 yards to 1,000, and didn't seem any indication that they're going to pull him offensively yet. I think they're going to let him get that. So, so we'll look to see Hall probably on that next offensive series.
Whalers will send trips. Check that. They're going to go with twins left and right here, and the running back offset to the right of the quarterback, Dawsonberg. He'll call signals on a 1st and 10. Durfee coming with the blitz. Going to give it here to Cecilio to the outside at midfield. Now across the 45. Gets it all the way down to about the 41-yard line.
And once again, tripped up by Lewis on the play from the safety position. But a good run by New Bedford. Joe, they've used that counter, fake it and come back to the opposite side and get a good block from one of the receivers and another good run from Cecilio.
Lewis, I like what they've done because he wasn't floating back there as kind of the free safety in that first quarter. And they made some changes. Remember, they put Robitaille onto center and got some more strengths from Paradise on the other side of the line. That was offensively. But now Lewis has kind of been floating, and he's really made some big plays.
Same play, give it to Cecilio. Not this time. Gets it back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more.
And Darren Rocha hitting himself on the head saying, yeah, that's my bust. I got thrown off my feet, and when I turned around, I didn't realize he was there, and I didn't block anyone. And the person went right by him and made the tackle.
Frazier checks back in. Josh Cecilio checks out at the running back position. 2nd and 10 for New Bedford. Whalers would just like to have a sustained drive here and keep the ball away from Hall, who's now checked back into the lineup defensively. Dawsonberg rolls to his right. This is when he's been at his best. Pass is complete. Hits Tristan Franklin on that levels concept. Got the ball out to about the 36-yard line. No, check that, 37, so a gain of about 4.
Well, Thomas was who wrapped him up there, number 4 for Durfee. Got there pretty quickly, and that was a good pass. We haven't really, you know, Dawsonberg hasn't had as much success over the last 15 game minutes, but that rolling out, what we saw in the first quarter. So, you know, maybe build a little confidence with the completion. 3rd and halfway there.
3rd and 6. Frazier offset to the right of the quarterback, Dawsonberg, who's straight back this time, looking, avoids the rush, looks downfield, had a man wide open, and the ball was overthrown. Goodine was coming across the formation on the deep over and was open, but is kind of diminutive in size, and the ball was beyond his reach, too high.
Yeah, really wanted that pass, Joe, right here. A lot of room to his left if he can get by that defender there that came up on him. He would have had plenty of room to run it on that side. He took the open throw and just put it above.
Yeah, it's hard to criticize the selection because the throw was wide open. You are right. The easier play would have been to run for it. Substitution here. Injured player leaving the field, number 57, Bill Souza. But he had Goodine, but again, Goodine, let's see, listed in our program at 5'11", looks a little smaller than that. And when you're throwing to a wide receiver, you're a quarterback 6'3", and the wide receiver is probably a little bit under 6 feet, maybe a little bit more than 5'11", under 6 feet. Hard to make that connection on the run. Needed to take a little bit off the ball, and overthrew Goodine, a big play. Not happening. And New Bedford with a 4th and 6 here from the 37-yard line of Durfee.
Yeah, that really was a pretty pass from Dawsonberg. I mean, I get what you're saying. Certainly could have gone on the ground just to get the first, kind of going for the one-shot hit, knowing that you're down by 28. You know, it's a shame for him because it was a good pass, just a little too far. Let him just, it's kind of like, you know, Thomas rolling out earlier in the game when he just, you know, led Montero a little too far as well. Kind of a similar situation.
Give the little pump fake, let the guy jump up, go underneath them, get the first down on 3rd down, and start a new series. That's possible. Yet the man was that wide open to say, hey, I can make this throw.
Sure.
Unfortunately for him, it was a little too high, and now it's 4th and 6.
And of course, at this point, you're just going to go for it from here on in. Can't give Durfee the ball back if you can't stop them.
So New Bedford with a 4th and 6. Frazier will be offset to the right of the quarterback, Dawsonberg. Trips to the right for New Bedford. Let's see if they roll Dawsonberg to the right. Durfee showing blitz. Dawsonberg will roll to his right. He'll look, lobs one, had a man, pass is complete. Goodine, is he inbounds is the question. Remember, you only need 1 foot, and they'll say, yes, he's inbounds.
Yep.
That's a great catch and a great throw under pressure.
So Dawsonberg, with pressure on that far side of the field, got rid of it, and Goodine came back for the football.
Rolling the right wrist a little bit as he landed and got hit as he threw it, but enough, and good hands by Goodine to make it as personnel change from the offense as number 57 is back in the game, Bill Souza. And watch as he's getting hit here, he has to throw off that back foot, but enough snap of the wrist to get it out there and a first down at the 25.
Big time pressure on Dawsonberg, and equally as much Thomas putting the pressure on Goodine there on the catch. So a tough 4th down conversion, but a successful one for the Whalers.
New Bedford will go with the offset eye now from the shotgun look, pistol look. Dawsonberg takes the snap, gives it to Frazier, the tailback. He's going to be met in the backfield and slung down. And you have players like Lewis right over Frazier. The officials not signaling anything there. That could have been a taunt. But no penalty, a big loss for New Bedford. That was a loss of about 7 on the play. Check that, make it 6 officially as they mark it at the 29. So sets up a 2nd and 16.
Yeah, Montero breached the defensive line, or the offensive line there, got right by Darren Rocha, and then Lewis was there to cap it off. But it was really Montero that made that tackle happen, and that loss for officially here looks like 6 yards.
Cecilio now the running back to the right of Dawsonberg, trips to the right. Dawsonberg's going to roll to his right. He's going to look, he's going to look, he's going to look. And this time he just flips it kind of sidearm to the sideline, but not back to the line of scrimmage at all.
It's going to be close.
I think the official's going to just say maybe he was down. It looks like the referee is calling over the side judge. So the question is here, he's calling for more help. Yeah, they're going to call intentional grounding here.
I don't think he was down, Joe.
No, and either way, if he's down, it's not a question. You just mark it there. If he threw it to the sideline, it's intentional grounding, and it's the same spot. It's not back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And again, you got to know the rules. The young man is saying, I got rid of the football, but it has to go back to the line of scrimmage. You can't just throw it to the sideline, even though you're out of the tackle box. Has to go to the line of scrimmage. And there he just threw it side, kind of like a shot put throw to the sideline.
Yeah, and there's the flag on the field. So
loss of down, right, Joe?
Loss of down, indeed.
In 10-yard.
You'll see him put his hands behind his head to signify, or he should. There you go, loss of down. So 5 yards from the spot of the foul and the loss of down.
So it's 3rd and a mile here.
Ball is way back now at the Durfee 43. They have to get to the Durfee 16-yard line.
Almost 30 yards.
So that's a total of 27 yards that they have to negotiate here. On 3rd down, underneath handoff. Cecilio picked up a few yards, and then he's hurled back. Bedford sideline not happy with the tackle. Saw some players getting a bit upset here, but nothing from the officials. It'll set up a 4th.
There was no whistle.
Yeah,
So play to the whistle.
A little extra there, so a little charring by them, and at the same time, Mark the Biddle says knock it off and go punt the ball.
And his frustration.
Will have to punt it away. And these two teams, it does get chippy usually toward the end of these games, which usually take place on Thanksgiving. And today it's on a nice spring-like day. New Bedford's DaCosta comes out to punt it away.
With the wind here, in a little more comfortable position than in his own end zone.
Here's the snap, floats back to DaCosta. Gets
blocked.
A very short kick away that was partially blocked, and it's taken here on the run.
Smart play and a good heads up by Sawyer.
Dante Sawyer.
Realizing that.
Took it on the block, and he almost went the distance here. New Bedford was alert to make the play and stop him. The kick was deflected, and you could see it spinning hard end over end because of the partial block. 3:23 left in the 3rd quarter. Durfee leading at 35-7. It's been the Jason Hall show.
And expect to see a little bit more of it, at least for 25 yards worth.
Yep, he's out there.
Has 4 touchdowns on the afternoon. And Durfee calls the timeout. This has been one of the longest quarters we've seen in a while.
And they only had 10 players on the field, that's why.
Yeah, between the end of the 2nd, what we saw, 3 or 4 possession changes in the final 5 minutes there.
Yep.
And then now here in this 3rd, very long first 8 minutes, that's for sure. Well, I mean, the first half was cruising along until Durfee's, offensive surge there at the end of it. As Joe had said, a 7-7 game, it was tight. But then the couple mistakes and some big plays for the Hilltoppers, both offensively and defensively, and things really changed quickly there at the end of the first half.
You often hear Bill Belichick say they made a few more plays than we did, and people look and say, what do you mean? But really, you could go back and trace this game to a few plays and take it to an entirely different point. At a 7-7 point of the game, a fumble cost New Bedford. Durfee took the lead and then ended up going up 21-7 on a late score when New Bedford had been moving the football. And then the Whalers moved it quickly down to the Durfee 3, and you're thinking, just get a touchdown here. You go into the locker room, 21-14. They get stopped.
So he's around 213 right now, Evan?
Jason Hall?
Yeah. He needs 25?
Yep, needs 25. So we'll
Okay.
say unofficially 213 yards on the
right
day. 975 yards for the season.
Yeah.
Football's on the 40-yard
And
line.
he's got it.
Give it to Hall.
Oh, he's got it
Hall,
right there.
It's 10.
midfield. Now
20.
the New Bedford 40, now the 30. 20-yard line, the 10, the 5. He's in the end zone for another touchdown. That's a 60-yard touchdown run for Jason Hall, his 5th of the afternoon.
I think he's earned himself a water break and a seat on the bench. 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns.
And now over 1,000 yards in 5 games. That's just unheard of.
So we have the lone touchdown from Lewis and 5 touchdowns from Jason Hall.
Wow. I mean, look at this. The Whalers, there's 6 of them chasing him down, and nobody can get to him.
Extra point attempt here from Inacio.
If he keeps this pace up, Hilltoppers are going to be looking at another 2,000-yard rusher next season, his senior year. Eli Brooks did it back in 2015. He was the first to do it. He's got a banner in the field house, but I think Hall might break his record. If the kid stays healthy, he's in for a big senior year next year.
Here's a kick by Inacio up.
But you also have to talk about Evan, too. It's going to be an asterisk because he didn't play a regular season that he could have hit and probably would have had more with 2 more games if he had an 8-game schedule. Let's put it that.
Yeah.
Think about that for this year. And he's only playing 5. They could play one next week, as you said, but we don't know that yet.
True.
And if he doesn't, think of how many more in the 3 games he probably could get to maybe let's say maybe not 2,000 this year, but possibility, and then the total number of yards in his whole career.
Yeah, it's really
that's the tough part.
Starter since freshman year, and he's just like I said, this core group. We knew coming in 2 seasons ago that and this group went winless as varsity, bunch of freshmen, and they all came back. They all worked hard in the offseason. We saw it last year. There were, I think, if I recall, 3 or 4 wins in the 11-game schedule. But they could have had an opposite record. They were just, again, as Joe said, few more plays than the opponent. Well, they made a few less, couple mistakes, and it cost them. This year now, we're starting to see this, this come to fruition. And I think next year's this senior class, this core group as seniors, I think they're going to be pretty tough.
Well, in the skill position, yes. Let's see if they can continue to build up because Paradise and Robital are both seniors. So, again, they need to build that line to open and create those holes so these skill players can do the job that they need to do.
Absolutely.
That will be Taylor Brown's big thing, I think, in the offseason, finding that group of core that says, hey, I got an offensive line and I can get this kid to run.
I wonder, I'm curious your thoughts on this too, is, normally you got to go a whole year without playing. These guys wrapping up here mid-April.
Yep.
They're going to go right into basically summer off-season training and then right back to the field. Yep. I think this actually helps. So this stuff is fresh in your head. It's not like you ended back 10 months earlier. You're cutting your year in half. I think it must be good for some of at least the mental training and, remembering plays and whatnot.
Well, that should help absolutely, and it's a matter of now filling the gaps or the holes that left behind from the seniors who now leave. And if I do that, really work on them because my other guys already know what's going on.
Sure.
It's how do I get my new guys and develop them and make them just as good as what you're seeing out here right now.
42-7, Durfee leads it. Dawsonberg takes the snap, running the option, keeps the football, gets it to the 35-yard line. A very short gain, maybe a half yard on the play. That's the play New Bedford started the game with during their first offensive possession. Run the option to the near side of the field.
So we're saying with the 60-yarder there, that's about 273.
With a 60-yarder should be about 330. He had 275 for the day.
Oh, for the day.
Excuse me, 175.
Yeah.
My bad. My
Okay.
bad. Yeah, 175 for the day.
I thought he was 25 away
25
from
away.
238.
Okay. Evan
so he's
having
at 213.
simple arithmetic.
213, so he went 60, so 273.
Yeah, 273. You know, I was thinking 975
Right,
for
right.
the season. I had
Okay.
75
That's
in my
okay.
head. No, you're right. Yeah,
So
so
about
over 250.
Yep.
This is a career high game for
Yep.
Jay Hall.
Yep.
That's an accountant's nightmare with all the numbers
Oh, yeah.
spewed here.
Yeah.
Here's a handoff to Cecilio, trying to bounce it to the outside, gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Then he gets wrestled down.
Man, we saw it with Bridgewater Raynham, and they're great running back, Joe. We've seen a couple of good ones. Apponequid had a good one, too, when we watched them against Vogue. So this is just another one to tack on, and it's been that run defense of New Bedford. It's struggled this year, and it has again. And this quarter still has not come to an end.
Well, Hall's a different
yeah.
type of running back,
Yep.
Chris. He's a big, tall, straight
Sure.
line speed. Once
Yep.
he gets up to gear with
Yep.
that body and that size, you
And
saw, you
bounces
mentioned
off
it
people.
earlier. Not many players want to get in the way
No.
defensively at this level, and you could see it once he gets into that second level and then starts to pick up momentum. It's basically over. You got to stop him on his side of the line of scrimmage, and you commit to it. New Bedford did it a few times here today, but not enough.
And he's still out there on defense. They have not pulled him from this game.
And there's another fumble. Ball's on the turf. Durfee trying for a scoop
Yep.
and score.
Close.
And the ball was picked up by number 2, Dante Sawyer, who's made a few plays defensively here in this second half. He got it inside the 10 and was brought to the turf.
That's a third fumble recovery for the Hilltoppers by my count.
Looks like they're going to mark it right at about the 9. Watch it here. They try the reverse to Brazil. He ran that earlier and had a good
And
gain.
Montero busted it up, and when he busted it up, it was not a chance to get the handoff. And
I still see Hall's number out there. They have not pulled
Nope.
Jason Hall. He's going to
He's still
stay in
in it.
there.
at least for the end of this one, or this quarter anyways.
54.4 seconds left. Montero is the fullback. Hall is the tailback. If he doesn't get the football, I'd be absolutely shocked here. It looks like Durfee really wants to say, we got a chance here today.
Take
Now
it.
they're going to give it to Montero inside. Is he going to get there? No.
No, down at the 2, I believe.
See where they mark it.
No, he fell purposely, so Hall will get it.
Yeah, maybe.
Looks like about the 4-yard line. They're going to mark it about the 4, I believe. Let's see here. Second and goal from the 4.
Should be able to run one more play.
I think one more play here in the third quarter. They've switched it up. Hall is actually listed as the fullback in the formation here. They'll give it to the tailback, Montero, and let's see, he bangs it in for the touchdown. So they moved Hall over to fullback and let Montero carry it in.
And he had a big block, too. He blocked on that left side, and Montero ran right by his right side to give him some space. You'll see it again here. Watch Hall number 1 standing up right there. Created just enough of a hole.
As you said earlier, team player.
There's no I in team in football, that's for sure. Contributions you need from everybody.
48-7, Durfee leads that extra point attempt here coming up from Inacio. His kick is up, and his kick is no good. Well,
Wow, first miss I've seen for Inacio all season in 3 games that I've seen.
kick was wide right that time, had plenty of distance, no good. And Durfee, as a result, leads at 48-7 with 7.7 seconds left, and we're still in the third quarter.
This has not been, I mentioned it, New Bedford really has, over the last 25 years or so had Durfee's number. You look back at the stats. The Hilltoppers won 3 in a row in the 2000s. My junior, my senior, and my first year in college. We won 3 in a row. Remember the infamous Mud Bowl here in '06 and that nor'easter of heavy rain, and then took 2 in a row. I think it was 16 and 17, fall 16 here, and then 17 at at home, that 8-6 win. That was like, you know, the defensive shootout. And but a lot of the games have been close, lots of offense from both sides, or that 8-6 being a lot of defense. Haven't seen a one-sided, you know, Durfee win like this in a long time. This is, you know, for the Hilltoppers, I think a few years of frustration coming out in one game.
Ignacio to kick off here. Oh, will kick again toward the sideline. New Bedford will field it there. And bumped out of bounds. I believe that was Goodine.
And in the other game of today, Brockton with a 28-19 win over Bridgewater Raynham.
Wow.
So that's a good win for the Boxers. In, I believe, Dan Buron's last game. Does that sound right?
And that, so actually that means going into the tournament, the one-game playoff really between the 1 and 2, that means Brockton should be the #1 then, having beaten, because BR, they were both undefeated. I believe they were both 3-0 in the conference.
Yep.
Yes.
So Brockton's going to get to host and going to play BR again next week, I would assume.
So we're ready for fourth quarter action. Score is 48-7 Durfee. New Bedford with the football at the 30-yard line.
And athletic director Tom Tarpey just coming in telling us that now with the score the way it is, going to be a running clock here in the fourth. So it won't be a marathon quarter like we saw the third, Joe. 11 minutes and most likely real time.
New Bedford with the football, 1st and 10. Whalers head back out on the field. Quarterback Dawsonberg takes the snap underneath handoff. New Bedford has gone to the bench even further. I believe that's
Miguel Rodriguez, I think, with a carry, right? 15?
Let's see here. I thought it was 26, Chris, but let's double
it's
check
15.
it. 15.
Yep.
15 is Miguel Rodriguez. It is Rodriguez staying in the backfield. Dawsonberg calling signals. 2nd and 5 for New Bedford. Takes the snap. Gives the football to Rodriguez straight up the middle of the field. Has a nice run here before he's finally brought down right across midfield at the Durfee 49. It was hit hard there by Jaden Lewis. But promising run there from Rodriguez, who is only a sophomore. So a smart move here by head coach Mark DeBrito, giving some younger players a look.
Yep, inside trap, good blocks up front, then a high mid, and then Lewis finishes him off. But it's the middle first tackle that stands him up so he can come in and take that.
Gonna go right back to Rodriguez. This time he's met in the hole and slung down. For Durfee, it was number 70, Sage Paradis.
And at 6'6", 295, he can sling you down.
He sure can.
And he did that time.
Sure.
And, you know, he had a good basketball season, too. You know, good presence as a center underneath. You know, the basketball team for Durfee had a pretty good turnaround year. Again, a lot of the same guys you see on the field here playing basketball. Strange to see them play hoops before football. But, you know, either way, getting seasons in here in any way that we can.
Should be in shape.
That's for sure. Absolutely. Must be nice to come into a basketball season not banged up from football. You know?
Dawsonberg with the handoff to Rodriguez. He's going to be hit in the backfield and brought down back at the 40. 9-yard line. So another loss of a yard sets up a 3rd and about 12. Clock will run here, as the guys have mentioned, here in the 4th quarter in a game where New Bedford is down by more than 30, to be down by 41 to be precise.
And those 41 unanswered points. It seems like, you know, hours ago that it was 7-7. It's hard to believe it was 7-7 in a tight game. And man, talk about putting your pedal to the floorboard. The Hilltoppers have just exploded offensively.
And I believe New Bedford has called the timeout here.
And the clock will still roll even for the timeout, it appears.
Obviously a challenging season for New Bedford here in 2021. You're limited with your practicing and all of the different things you can do to prepare your team and to continue to advance them along. A lot of changes for New Bedford here. New quarterback in 2021, a new running back in Frazier. Most of the returning players are really seeing much more time here this year than they did last year, so a lot of changes. And when you see all these players and they haven't had any varsity experience or any significant varsity experience, then you're limited with other factors. It's a challenge, and they have struggled as a result. Dawsonberg, the quarterback, calling signals. Here comes the pressure from Durfee on the blitz. Dawsonberg steps around the pressure, looked downfield. He was being tackled as he tried to find Rigo. Pass was incomplete.
Looked like Montero there getting to him, and lucky to get the pass off. He's talking to the official right now. Been doing a lot of talking lately as well, and again, I'm sure the frustration building here, down by such a large deficit.
New Bedford's going to punt it away.
Yep.
No, you're right though, Joe. You mentioned about, you know, some of the varsity experience lacking, and you know, this team graduated a lot of seniors the last time the three of us were doing a broadcast in Fall River, and that was a Thanksgiving Day win for the Whalers, and you know, they lost a lot of guys, so definitely a bit of a rebuild in that sense, but you know, they'll get there. Coach DeBrito does such a great job with this program.
I mean, it's you know, you saw the senior day today and how many kids actually came out to get some flowers and have their parents and things like that. That's a block. That's a penalty too.
Here's Lewis returning it.
Yeah, that's all going to come back.
He's going to take it the distance, it looks like, but a couple of flags thrown on the play, so.
Yep.
And a flag down that, and it's like
they're going to bring it back.
about a half dozen flags scattered all over this field right now.
Yeah, and Dimitri Fontenot really took a hit there.
And Mark DeBrito is not happy. He's talking to some players, and he's going over to talk to
Taylor Brown, and he wants to talk about
the Durfee coach. He's going across the field.
He wants to talk about number 4.
And that's going to end up being a flag too if he's not careful.
Yeah, he wants to talk about number 4, Isaiah Thomas.
He's saying that was
on that situation.
Block in the back, blindside block,
and
NFL
and
now.
DeBrito sitting there saying, okay, I got you.
A definite exchange here between the coaches, and the officials are having to get in the way here, and the benches are clearing.
That's not good what you want to see right now.
No, there's not enough here as far as
not happy.
supervision.
No,
but the official's able to send.
Well, there's a certain coach that came out from Fall River, and they're chirping about something, and DeBrito didn't like it, and he's still yelling at him.
He's still going over there.
Yeah, and he still wants to know about that specific coach.
No, but there's no reason for the players to leave, particularly if it's a coaching exchange. You know, let them handle it. Let the officials handle it and get back to the bench. That's it.
I would not be surprised here if the officials call this one.
No.
New Bedford's got another coach out there.
A lot of finger pointing right now.
Several coaches over there.
Yeah.
Players still down for New Bedford, and it's kind of gotten away from everyone here a bit.
No, I had the calling. I didn't see the block in the back. I'm not sure if we can get a replay on that. I'd like
the
to
one
see
on that hit?
Yeah, I'd like to see that again.
There were a couple, and that one
with
a player down. That one was a blindside block from distance. A player turning to run toward.
Oh, you'll see it here.
To run downfield, and he just gets absolutely, annihilated.
So you're going to see him in your picture, number
tracing,
7, right here, number 7 coming in,
play,
and he's just going to get hit there.
Wow, and he's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, high shoulder. That's not good.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
So we got a lot of people out on this field right now, and it's crowd control. And Joe, I'm surprised that you're right that this game is not ended.
Yeah.
Actually, Tom Tarpey's out there
I am
giving
very
the
surprised.
cut.
Yeah,
Brad
he's giving
Buston's out there for Durfee.
He's saying,
He's saying, let's finish this one up here.
This before it gets away from us.
We don't need this one here. Let's take this to another level. Yeah, we're just going to let this run down and just keep it going.
Well, it's been a running clock
ever
anyway,
since.
so we only have a minute.
I think what they're going to do is just keep the teams on the sidelines and let the clock run out.
Yep.
It's down to 1:40.
Yep.
It was down to 1:48. I think they're saying run the clock.
Yep. They're going to finish this one up.
Wow.
Yep, that's what the referee is saying. Just run the clock. And they'll send the teams away. New Bedford is making its way
Well, now the clock has
toward the
stopped,
locker
Joe.
room.
Yep.
Yeah, but the officials are signifying. They were signifying with a windmill action that
Oh, there you go.
the clock should be running, and there you go.
It's done.
To just finish it off.
Wow, pretty crazy, pretty crazy here.
You had several New Bedford coaches, in addition to Mark DeBrito, not happy, and Mark DeBrito is still out there trying to. I believe he's speaking with.
It looks like Taylor Brown.
Yeah, Taylor Brown. And I think, you know, it goes, the hits are one thing, but I think you get to a point where maybe some of the players like that, something.
And I'll tell you, DeBrito is still not happy with one particular coach. I can tell you that.
He's not happy.
He came over too. They're coming over, and
Yeah, he's still not happy with a couple of particular coaches on the other side there. And one in particular that he really wants to get to. It's right on the right-hand side.
Right at the 50-yard line.
well, he's getting his words in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're looking to clear out the stadium
And
here.
it's the man. It's the jersey. It's the man with the white shirt on with his hat backwards is the man he is really pointing at from the other team. It's in front of the Durfee players right now, but unfortunately, this one's going to end this way, and that's how it's going to be, Joe.
A couple of New Bedford's finest have made their way out there just to make sure things don't get a bit further away. And New Bedford has made its way off the field. A few of the New Bedford coaches still out there, including Mark DeBrito. And now he's at the 40 and making his way toward the locker room. Durfee, of course, doesn't have a locker room to go to here today, so they'll just meet and disperse from there. They've instructed the crowd to leave, so that'll wrap it up.
I was not around for the crazy Friday night basketball games years ago, but I'm told this is how it was.
Yeah, there were a few of those.
And, you know, I haven't seen this so much in football, not as often as we did in basketball because of how tough the programs were. But, yeah, tough way to end it. You know, you never like to see, you know, a situation like that.
Now, there's one thing that you can say, Evan, and you said it, and you probably hit the nail on it. It's been a few years, and there's been some years of frustration and build-up on certain teams. And then you watch what happens. Now you develop yourself a program. You're buying into what Taylor Brown's been giving you. You've had kids since Pop Warner. Now you come up. Now you make your hammer, and you want to make a statement.
Right.
And now, again, this is where Taylor Brown has to control his group as well, and so does Coach DeBrito and things when the seasons turn and go the opposite way. And this is what is filtered into.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's carried to a point where they've had to stop the game.
And we're not going to, not going to defend the blindside hit like that.
No.
But let's just, be clear too. The Whalers have had games like this more than the Hilltoppers have, where they've, continued to run it up as well. So this is not uncommon.
No.
But it was.
But
this was the tipping point
today. The injury there.
Yeah.
And again, who made the hit? Why is Isaiah Thomas even in the game at this particular point in time? So he probably shouldn't even been in there. And I think that was another point that people had wanted to talk about as well.
And I'm sure there are coaching perspectives on both sides, and they certainly differ here today as we wrap this one up. But we don't want to forget the outstanding performance by Jason Hall, which was really the story of the day. 5 touchdowns, leading Durfee to a 48-7 win over New Bedford here at Andre McCoy Field. That'll wrap it up from Andre McCoy Field on the campus of New Bedford High School with the score for a final time. It was Durfee 48 and New Bedford 7. For my partners today, Chris Santos and Evan Massoud, I'm Joe Cabral. Thanks for joining us, and have a good afternoon, everyone.